Ladies and gentlemen, I am here in Kruxel Studios in Stockholm, Sweden, and I'm going to bring you Copa America, but I am not alone. Do I have you on the other side of the line?
Well, hello everyone, I am back, and I'm here, of course, together here with Tenji. I can see you next to me here. So yeah, I'm actually not in the studio today, very sorry about that, but yeah, I'm going to be here via live video feed, just like the Portuguese stream actually, pretty cool.
Yeah, running the same setup, so you're here, but not here, kind of thing going. I don't know what I'd call it.
I'm here in spirit.
You are here in spirit.
Not physical form.
Exactly. And of course, you know, visually you are also here. So I want to be turning my head. So I mean, technically I am turning my head in your direction, but there's just no one there really to greet me. So feels a little lonely, but nonetheless, we are here for the Copa America finals, Alex.
Yeah, we are. Tenji, and almost pulled it off. So yeah, we are here for the Copa America finals, everyone, and I know that a lot of you have been looking forward to this one, although we already had the WCS seeds done with the Challenger and Premier of WCS Latin America. You see them right in front of you here with the qualifiers, group stages into the WCS seed. That means that we still, though, have the finals for that Copa America Grand Final, where you can see the prize pool is $10,000 and it's only 8 players who get to play.
Yes, sir. So I mean, even though I think there was a lot of attention given by these guys to try to get into Premier, there's still a lot on the line now for this domestic tournament, with each victory in these, what should you say, like a smaller Copa America leading up to the offline event. You still want to get those points.
So kind of how it works is that instead of having these really big seasons and then a bit of a final, we actually have these pretty small seasons, you want to say, with a few $100s here and a few $100s there, and the big incentive being WCS. But then you can see the grand final being the big one here. So for instance, you can see the prize pool is mostly down to WCS seeding. But then again, the Copa America Grand Final is what you're really looking for through this Grand Final, or this final of the season, of course.
Yes, sir. I mean, though that being said, things are getting set up here. We are going to be running our first series here. It's going to be a best of 7, and it's actually the final, like the literal final, TVT, to open things up here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be followed, of course, by the bronze match, which will be, there we have them, Cham versus Cat, playing for that bronze in a Zerg versus Zerg, but first Major versus Kelazhur, in a Terran versus Terran.
Yes, and of course, Kelazhur playing for Root against the previous Root guy. Here you can see him actually doing so well in WCS Season 1, of course, managed to get himself to Premier League, and it kind of a no-name just popping up, everyone asking who he was, and to be honest, made some pretty huge upsets, and is really one of the upcoming names now in the global scene even.
He's been looking fairly good, I have to agree, but to not take anything away from his opponent, Major, actually a beast at StarCraft 2. He is so good, feels like natural talent. Nonetheless, this guy has been working fairly hard, and just amazing record in TVT, so this is going to be a pretty good series that we have ahead of us here, Alex.
Oh, absolutely. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is a TVT, and, you know, as I said, Major used to play for Root 4 times. Now he's going to face the current Root player, Kelazhur, who managed to beat the manager of Root, Cats. So a lot of Roots here. Of course, 2 out of 4 players today are currently with Root, with Cats also playing for the 4th/3rd place. Now, this is TVT, and Major is kind of the foreign god of TVT. I think there are very few right now in the foreign scene that can actually even put up a good fight against him.
I think there's always just sort of been this distinct lack of Terran players outside of Korea, so I'm sort of placing a lot of my money on Major and Kelazhur here. I hope they can carry the Terran flag through WCS for this upcoming season, or rather for the season that we're in. That being said, I think things are getting set up. Things are good on your line of things, I do hope.
Yes, they are. I am seeing everything right now. And I actually have the map list right in front of me as well. So we're going to have a best out of 7 starting off here for the grand final, or rather the final. I'm not going to say grand yet. It's not that grand compared to the grand finals.
Yeah, the offline grand finals.
Exactly.
It's like a bigger grand finals.
We're going to have best of 7. It is Vanny first, coming up with Coda, Iron Fortress, Echo, Inferno Pools, Cactus Valley, and to finish off, if we do come to that 7th game, Expedition Lost.
So, full map pool pretty much here, guys. Anyway, as things are getting set up here, we're just waiting for all of the casters to get ready and our players to be in position to go. You can, of course, jump onto Twitter and hashtag SC2CopaAmerica. Talk about the games, tweet at us. We'll continuously be making sure to check our Twitter feeds. So join in the conversation, everyone, here for Copa America. Because, I mean, we're going to have a pretty good set of games here, like this first TVT, and then, of course, the bronze match, Zerg versus Zerg, and 2 mirror matchups. I know there's a lot of people who generally don't like Zerg versus Zerg, but I think that the mirror matchups probably have some of the like most depth to them, if you come to understand them very well.
Absolutely. But as I say, you know, if you have anything you want to say, you know, or just tweet down, do so at the hashtag. I actually saw before I checked it out, you know, what people have been posting previously on the, you know, other language streams and hashtagging them as well. I saw a really cool picture with Kelazhur's Major in a boxing fight, you know, they just pasted over
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, a pretty cool picture. But yeah, if you are into that, of course, Twitter is a great way. But, of course, make sure you add that SC2. I actually made the mistake of searching for just Copa America. I found a lot of football.
Yeah, so it's a little different. Make sure to add StarCraft 2 to that. I mean, this is sport. E-sport. So a little different, I guess. I mean, we're not chasing any balls, but we are chasing money and fame and fortune.
Well, death balls.
Death balls, yes. No, do you want to chase death balls? I think you'd want to avoid them.
Dude, I'd chase them.
I guess it depends, right?
Like,
if you're on creep, then maybe you want to be getting after that. But
dude, I got my fungals, I got my broodlords. I'm chasing whenever I feel like.
We're not in wings, Alex. Go back home.
Darn it. I wish. But yeah, so that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're currently just setting up the lobby, but I want to hear some predictions here, Lucas. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh, no.
It is Major in
I
a
hate
TVT.
when you do this.
I know you do, and that's why I keep doing it. So, okay, it is Major, TVT. You know, I'm going to go on a limb here and say probably most people here would say he's favored. But then again, it's Kelazhur, and he got so far. He's such an upcoming name right now. We don't really have the info enough to say exactly how good his TVT is the last few weeks or even the last month. But how do you feel, man?
I think it's like I'll want to watch the first game before I can actually put my foot down on any sort of prediction set in stone. But I am going to go ahead and say, for me right now, it does feel as if I think we'll see Major take this series, maybe a 4-1, a 4-2. But then again, it can go any way. Kelazhur, maybe he's prepared some specific builds. You know, you have time because these guys have had several weeks, or rather a week actually, so 7 days, not too long. But still, 7 days to prepare for this upcoming final. So maybe he's been checking out VODs, going onto Twitch, finding anything, any sort of information, looking at build orders, etc., etc., to try to cop out whatever he can about his opponent. So, like I say, I think it can go either way. But for me, I'm leaning a little bit more towards Major.
So what's the score?
4-2 for me.
Okay, 4-2.
I'll give it 4-2.
Yeah, it's easy to say it can be either way, but you have to go one way or the other. So I'm going to go on a limb and say 4-1 Major, but as you say, Kelazhur, I think it would be surprising, but not a huge upset if Kelazhur actually would go for like a 3-4, even take it like 4-2, 4-3.
I think one thing that gives Kelazhur a bit of an advantage is the fact that Major has existed for such a long time, so there's just a lot more information already out there about him. And sort of, as you dig into the scene further, as you're sort of, you know, climbing the mountain that is StarCraft 2, you will continuously be adding more stuff to your roster or dossier, so people can study you and go more in depth about, like, how do you play, how do you react to certain things, do you have any sort of weak spots in terms of build orders or different matchups. But well, when there's not too much information on you, I actually think you have a slight edge. So I'm going to change my prediction here and say 4-3 to Major, actually.
Oh.
I'm going to be I'm going to be that bold.
So that monologue argument managed to change your mind a bit. It's pretty funny when that happens.
It is, like, you're really convinced about something and then you talk a bit about it and like, you actually come to realize, like, well, you know,
Hmm.
maybe I was wrong with my first statement. But you know, we'll see. If Major 4 owes Kelazhur, then I guess I'll have to go eat my shoes.
That would be a sight. But now, let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, we are still waiting here.
It seems like one of the casters have gone AWOL, so
Yeah,
I hope they're okay.
I do hope so. I mean, one of them is online and available, but it seems like they have still yet to show up, so hopefully they will be showing up soon. But yeah, you know, hopefully we're gonna go soon, because I'm really going to be excited for this. I mean, Major Kelazhur.
Don't kill our hype.
Yeah, exactly. We already hyped it up. We're going to keep the hype up for hours.
It's like really, it's really bad for your heart.
Yeah, dude. Think of it like think of Kelazhur like prepared by going 4 really quick proxy racks and just wins every single game.
Like 2-Axe Reaper, like the very first map. What was the first map?
It was Vani.
Vani, yeah. So it's actually fairly straightforward. But I mean, imagine 2-Axe Reaper on that. It's super old, really out of style, but just take initiative in that very first game. Looks as if one caster has joined. Is this our guy? Is this the one who was missing? I do hope so, so that we can get this finals on the road.
He's one of the guys.
He's one of the guys.
Yes, we have half of the crew here.
Half.
But yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, of course, if you have seen Copa America before, do tell us in chat what games, or even on Twitter even, what games you like the most, because as we said, we did see some really interesting games. We saw who was it? It was Cham, right? I keep thinking Chum for some reason, but it's Cham. It's.
I'm going to interrupt you there for a second. I just want to know: is it Cham or Cam?
Cham.
Because sometimes you have that H being silent.
Cam. No, it can't be Cam. Could it?
Could it?
I mean, it technically could, but it shouldn't.
Well, you know, we've sort of been in that spot before, where
It's
we're Byong and Bibyong. But then again, it sort of became a thing where I'd say it to make people angry, or like annoy them.
Bibyong.
Bibyong.
Coming back.
It's
Making a
Bibyong.
comeback. But yeah, so I'm just gonna say Cham. I think it makes sense.
Yeah, well, we'll go with that. I think it's better that we say the same thing, or maybe it's better that I go one and you go one, so that means like we're both like collectively 50% correct.
No,
it's a bad gamble.
but anyhow, yes, Cham. Anyhow, he managed to beat Jim Rising in a ZVZ, and now he pulled himself this far. He's going to face Cat after he lost to Kelazhur and Cat's lost to Major. So I mean, we still have some really cool series. We even saw like the early group stages with B-Lord, for instance, having some pretty crazy Muta games.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, if you guys watch those, you know, if you actually want to hear what games you thought were the most exciting ones, basically.
Okay, so like last time we did Copa here from the studio, we had this really insane ZVZ between Cats and Reason. Yeah, I think that was Reason actually. On Iron Fortress, like the final game, they went to 2-2, and there was a final game, and Cats looked dead because he went for the like early pool with speed, or not an early pull up, but he went like a 30 pool with gas, and tried to break down Reason. He got up into the main, but didn't really get the damage he was looking for, and then he tried to go for roaches as a sort of follow-up to this, and a very sort of low economy kind of thing, and he once again broke into the natural of his opponent. Took down like a queen, traded off a couple of drones, but then not really getting those Bailey connections that he wanted, and too many lings and roaches managed to push back Cats, and then the others like counterattacked southwards because we had Reason top left, Cats bottom left, so these guys were like virtually just in a line from each other, and he counterattacked and actually overextended, took a lot of damage from a spine crawler that Cats had up, and then he sort of turned around from there, went into a slightly longer game, went past the mid-game stage, but nonetheless Cats managed to pull on through, and that's why he's here to play this bronze match.
Yeah, I have to say, like, after watching Cats against against Kelazhur, I mean, it was pretty hilarious in the beginning, you know, they sat next to each other when they were playing, etc., but I don't know, like, Kelazhur just looks so much stronger, you know. I just feel that, you know, he's become a really solid player overall, that you can't really just say he might lose this game or this game. Like, he's actually gotten to the point where he's actually going to be able to take down most people on a regular basis, and it's more like an upset if someone who is not considered by his skill almost to take him down. I feel there's some people, like we see Sen, for instance, who's sometimes really amazing and sometimes just gets shut down really quickly in early groups.
You mean the sort of like inconsistency?
Almost, or like kind of unstable play, maybe? There's a better word for it.
Volatile?
Yeah, that's
that they're like volatile in a group stage, maybe?
Yeah, that's another word for it. But, you know, we're just bouncing words here. So, yeah, I mean, Kelazhur, I don't feel he's the same way. Like, a lot of people who are up and coming, they have this kind of tendency of being, you know, they have, not a gimmick perhaps, but they're really good at exploiting one part of the game. They're really aggressive, they're very macro-oriented, they find the so-called perfect style to use, but then they kind of falter to anyone who realizes what they are so focused on, while Kelazhur doesn't feel like he's so focused on one area.
That's actually a good point that you make there, because if we just think about it for a moment, I mean, go back to 2011, 2012, the exact pattern that you just explained, I mean, we saw that with Stefano Roaches, with the Parting Soul Train, the Immortal Sentry, all in to counter the Roach play. I mean, you always have these sort of styles that come to dominate not only the ladder, but a lot of the tournaments as well. Generally from a single individual player, you know, who engineers them from the very get-go. So it's going to be interesting to see, like, can Kelazhur pull on through here? Will he be able to knock down Major in this Terran versus Terran? Both of these guys, if you were looking at those player cards, if you just tuned in, they both were at a 100% win rate in their respective mirror matchups. So I'm really, really excited for this series. I mean, because it's going to be a long one.
Yeah, it most likely is. Now, we've seen a lot in TVT recently where it doesn't really, you know, end super early with the 2 racks, etc. We've seen a lot of games where it kind of ends in the late early game almost, or like mid game almost, with Banshees being shut down. For instance, we saw that happening pretty quickly here in Copa with I can't remember which series it was, but we saw, for instance, in our previous TVT we had one of the players going for Banshees and got shut down like really, really quickly. It was in our round of 8, I believe.
Well, Matt, I think about the names, because we're terrible with names. I think we should have a list with all the names. Like written.
I actually got them right.
Oh.
Yeah, let's see. Wait. It was Sealer versus Smile. I remember Sealer trying to.
Oh yeah, thanks. Good job.
Yes, so it was Sealer who tried to, you know, go for the Banshee pressure. Smile just went for the Raven Viking and then just won the game pretty easily after that. We also saw something similar. I think it was in the same game probably, where he went for 4GD style with the blue flame and a lot of damage.
Oh man, I'm trying to look back, because I mean, we've casted so many games these past weeks, so it's sometimes hard to pinpoint. Oh man, my brain is just a complete standstill.
What are you looking for?
I was just thinking about like the names of the players.
The TVT?
Yeah.
No, I just told you. It was Sealer versus Smile.
Oh yeah, okay, thanks.
It's fine, man.
I'm making a fool out of myself here.
It's okay. We do that on a regular basis.
It happens.
We're casters.
It happens. I mean,
it's our job.
You can't. There's always someone who has to be put on the spot when you're in front of a camera like this. But that being said, we have finally found our missing caster, and we've sat in the lobby for a while now, hoping to get this going. But guys, make sure to jump onto Twitter and tweet SC2CopaAmerica in order to join in the conversation, talk about the games. If there are any sort of specific highlights that you guys really like in these upcoming series, make sure that you let us know exactly which ones, so maybe we can go in depth, look at them, etc, etc. There's going to be a lot of action on the list, so make sure to pay attention.
Absolutely. And remember as well that this is just the first season. We're going to have 2 more seasons after this, coming out with 2 qualifiers first, then we're going to the group stages like previously, coming into this same round of 10, etc. Sitting into the WCS for the following 2 seasons as well, so it kind of goes hand in hand with that. And of course, then for the grand finals, which is actually not connected to WCS in the same way. Then remember, for the grand finals in WCS, you also have those WCS points, and that's what's so important right now. It's not just about the seeding, but also about that massive WCS points boost you get for winning Copa America.
Don't forget the money.
Don't forget the money!
Because what's happened, for any of you guys who've not been up to, or rather, to bring you guys up to speed. You make it into the rounds of 4. That's a challenger spot guaranteed. And how much money was that? Like, was that $2,000
Yes.
per challenger spot? So that's for each of these individuals. You have $2,000 altogether. You make it into Premier, which are the 2 finalists in this scenario, Kelazhur and Major. I think it's like 4,500. So I mean, just making it this sort of deep run in Copa, of course, lots and lots of cash. And then if you can not only get a better run or get a good run in WCS, let's say you make it into those offline finals of Copa, I mean, that's even more money. So there's just going to be a lot of cash grabbing going on here now in the upcoming weeks.
Oh yeah. Now, we are just about done, ladies and gentlemen. In a few minutes, it seems like we're going to be ready. Now, as I said, we are going to have a maximum of 7 games here, but don't forget, we're going to have a series afterwards as well. It's going to be a best out of 5 ZVZ, and well, that's going to be Cats versus Cham. Now, how do you feel in that series? Because we talked a bit about this TVT. I'm thinking, I'm thinking most likely Major with a big percent, like 70 to 30. Oh, actually 65 to 35 probably. Is
okay, so you're actually starting to lean a little bit more the Kelazhur direction after.
No, I think 65 versus 35 still. It's more than almost twice as much as your opponent. So I think that's a pretty good one.
I guess that is fair. I was hoping that I was, swaying you a little bit, like.
Oh no, you're not gonna sway me.
with my monologue.
Oh no, sir, you're not gonna sway my confidence. But the second series, okay,
yes.
So Cham versus Cats.
We can actually bring that up now for a second, because I mean we're not really doing anything.
Well, that's a good way to say it.
Well, I mean I'm just sitting here, guys. But yeah, so Cats, Cham, bronze match. Alex, take us through this. Zerg is your side of things. So what do you think? I mean, what are your thoughts about Cats? How he plays in this matchup?
So Cats we saw a bit in the CVZ. He did just play against who was it again? He played against Reason, I believe.
Yeah, I think that was the last series of the rounds of 4. The extremely close one.
Yeah, it was a 3-2 in the semifinals, bringing it Cats to the series against Kelazhur. It did get 3-0'd.
Oh yeah.
But in his CVZ, I mean, I have to say his CVZ is. It's special. It's Cats,
Isn't all of his matchups, I'd say, are special.
Yeah, but I mean, he likes his Carapace style, which is very interesting, very aggressive. He doesn't straight go into roaches like we see a lot of top tier Koreans do, but he can still stay on links. But he's still, he's still good with his roach play. It's not that he's bad with it. It's just he prefers a lot of link styles. Very aggressive player.
Would you say that? I'm gonna let you get back to that, but I mean, if we have the standard of how people generally open, you have the gasless variations, the single gas where you pull guys out, stuff like that, where you generally see a lot of speed openings, right?
Yes.
And then that always, or not always, but I'd say like 85% of the time, you go into like Muta, then Roach, or you go right into Roaches. I mean, those are pretty much the approaches that exist in Zerg vs Zerg when you come into the mid game, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah. So kind of how it works for you guys. Oh, sorry.
No, I'm just, but Cats has a sort of. He has his own path into roaches eventually.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it is a path that has been existing before, so it's nothing I think that he created himself. I mean, he kind of did create half the builds that everyone uses nowadays, according to some. But no, but what he does is that he likes to, for instance, the Carapace play, something really old that we don't see a lot nowadays, but can be very potent because of that. That kind of protection against banings with your links to cancel out a third, to get your own third, to get that lead. But as you say, kind of a textbook Zerg play is to go for gas opening to quick third if your opponent goes full gasless. Now you can go for roaches right away, which is the most common, with +1. But then again, muta play, pretty common as well, can happen. Usually though, you do just go into like 7-10 mutas, you go into straight away roach warren and get that delayed kind of roach push, but so strong. So there's a lot of things you can do, but as we said, B-Lord in that Group A did pull off a Muta versus Mutant. We don't see it often, but when it does happen, it's really entertaining and really back and forth and clutch.
I can get very intense. It's like those two compositions, or rather, when those two compositions face each other in Muta or Muta versus Muta, they're the same composition. It's always like by a very thin line. One misstep, like the guy that has 1 or 2 less mutas, things can get very crazy. Like, Spiral out of control. It's just like Phoenix Wars in Protoss versus Protoss or Marine Tank versus Marine Tank. Like, you fall down at those tank numbers, man, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah.
But that being said, I mean, we've talked about Cats. He has an opponent he's going to be playing, so let's take a look at him. Cham, that's him. That's
Yes.
our guy. Do we have a player card?
We're gonna see here.
Do we?
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Nice.
Putting pressure on our producer.
Yeah,
Who's
we're
actually
so
staying
sorry.
up right now. It's 2:30
Yeah,
a.m.
so lots of love to Cruxel Studios here from Stockholm, Sweden. He is a sick nerdballer saving esports every day. But so you have a lot about you have a lot of thoughts about Cham though. On the other hand, so what do you think about this guy, Alex?
So making it to Copa America finals 2014 and 2013, seems pretty cool.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, I have to say, like, Brawl Esports, something that's been just brought out recently. I read an article about it recently, but the thing is, we haven't seen too much of Cham. And it's really, really saddening because we actually casted the series, or was that Kelazhur as Cats, while Cham vs. Mage was being played. And we casted Cats vs. Reason, while Cham vs. Jim Rising was being played. So, problem is, we haven't seen any games from Cham since Cham vs. Eric, I believe, or even before then with Cham in Group C. So not enough information really to call this guy's ZVZ. I want to say he looks really strong. He managed to beat Jim, which is pretty cool. He looks really strong in his Group C. He had, let's see, how many was it? He had one other Zerg, which he did beat, Reason. But I want to say, like, I think he can absolutely be a contender to Cats if you just look at the games, and if I remember correctly, from his group stage.
Yeah, well, I mean, consistently making it past at least the rounds of 8, Cham that is. So I think definitely this guy has a good opportunity to prove his worth. Maybe we'll see him break through into those, or rather, secure himself this 3rd place spot, which will be on 2nd series of today. We're still waiting. I think we're not missing anyone, at least, Alex.
No,
doesn't look like it.
No, I don't think so. So it seemed like one of these streams was having some issues, but it should be ready in just a second. We're checking out if Kelazhur is now here. I think he took a quick break because of the break we had.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so guys, we're finally good to go. So the countdown has started as we're going to be jumping into our first game here in our finals of Copa America, and it is a Terran versus Terran. And the first map is going to be Varni Research Station.
Well, this is going to be a great one. It is. I'm right now thinking though, Varni, I mean, it is kind of streamlined map. I'm not going to be surprised if you see some aggressive openers because of that open area. But of course then, Marine Tank, very common, something Major loves. But you know what? We're getting into the map right now. We're just loaded in. So let's get on with it, I guess.
Yes, sir. So anyway, guys, as you can see, we are here, and our first player here to the north, it is going to be our player in the blue. Has the Root logo, actually? I'm not sure. No, oh, never mind, I mixed them up there. It is going to be Root Kelazhur.
Yeah. Don't be so surprised.
Oh, I was like, wait, am I in the wrong? He has an opponent, not a teammate, in the red. It is going to be none other than Major, who has been on route multiple times. So I was so close.
Yeah.
So close.
Well, right now, seems like nobody... And as I say that, never mind. Major is going for some shenanigans right away, sending out an SCV here on 10. And, well, it looks like he's rallied it to get to a good Reaper positioning, but it doesn't look like the best position to go for that proxy rack, so it's pretty late.
We'll see, like, if we see a gas from Major here, then definitely going to be that proxy Reaper play, but we'll just waiting right now. Kelazhur, on the other hand, what is he doing? Racks back at home. No gas first here. Grabs that gas right off the rack. So it's going to time out fairly well if he wants to be going into standard factory play. But here we go. Major. First barracks has started. Gas should be taken here shortly, and there we have it. So, well, Proxy Reaper versus whatever Kelazhur decides to do. We'll see if he goes Reaper right into that factory.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a Rax into gas from
Yes.
Kelazhur, so it should just be standard Reaper. Now, Mages should be about the same timing, I want to say, even later. So I'm not really sure what he wants to accomplish with this. Is he to go for the Marauder play instead? He could do that.
That's actually, yes, could definitely be Proxy Marauder. Get that concussive shell. And then, no way for those Reapers and Marines to get away.
There we go.
Oh, yep. So, it is going to be Proxy Marauder, Alex. And Major starting off this series with a bang.
He is, and now this is interesting, because this is one of the builds that can fall to some things. For instance, if your opponent was to rally Reaper right across your structure, which is about to happen.
Yeah, this is going to get a bit weird right off the go, or get-go of things, because, I mean, a Marauder is very tanky, so a Reaper has a hard time dealing with it. As he comes down here and he sees this, what is the reaction from Kelazhur going to be?
Well, I would say, you need to get the high ground ASAP. You probably want to wall it off even to make sure that the Marauder doesn't just come up. Now, it's a bit late for that.
Ooh.
So, the Marauder was going to focus that SCV. If he gets up the bunker, though, that's going to be very
actually, look at this. He walls it off. He walls it off, Alex. Excellent play here from Major. And he's going to start getting a couple of SCVs.
I mean, yeah, but that's Majors. Did you realize that, right?
Yeah, well,
That's
I mean...
Majors and Indian base, so he can cancel that to make sure he gets in later.
Oh, this is so sick. Really smart play right now for Major. Back at home, this Reaper is coming in, so right now he is forced to pull these SCVs off the line of mining, and he's have to make sure to micro these well in order to not lose any. But I mean, the pressure is on right now, all on Kelazhur.
Yeah, so here's here's why it's so interesting. Now it comes down to micro-effects, because Kelazhur must defend at home. He got the bunker up, which is being focused on, which he needs to repair and make sure he doesn't lose too many SCVs. At the same time, though, he needs to micro-reap against these SCVs being A-moved. This is almost like a multitask train, it looks like. Now, here's the thing. Major needs to go past this bunker. He can't be losing Marauders.
Oh, no, that's true. But, I mean, one Marine has made it in, and one of these Marauders is getting lower and lower. But already we have 10 SCVs down here for Kelazhur. So he's actually down by 6 workers. The Reaper, though, still holding on strong here in the base of Major. Factory has started as well for a Red Terran, who's now bringing his Marauders back home. I think he's very happy, though, with this economical damage that he's initially done.
I'm really surprised that they didn't just cancel the engineer, like gather up a few more Marauders, cancel that engineer bay and go up, because there's no way for Kelazhur to really wall off. So I think Major a bit afraid of this Reaper, and he might feel, as you say, that he's far enough ahead that he can actually just do this and kind of take the game from that. But I'm a bit surprised.
Nonetheless, Alex, like excellent damage here from Major, and he might actually even catch this Reaper. 2 Marauders do swing in here. There we go. The power of that concussive shell will catch up and get the kill. So, very strong start here from our Red Terran in this first game here on Vani.
So here's the problem, though. Major stays on one base, while Kelazhur has 2 command centers. So that SCV lead you talked about is really nice. It's really important here for Major. But then again, he only killed 3 more workers than his opponent. His opponent is going to crank that double SCV count very, very quickly. Kelazhur has the quickest starport, and although it probably will get scouted by these barracks, it's still Kelazhur's lead here, I feel.
Yeah, that's actually a very important thing that you bring up. I mean, he will have that double SCV production. Being a little annoying here with these Marauders will knock down this depot. Does supply block Kelazhur. So, nice little move there from Major. Here's going to be a bit of an issue, though. Cloaked Banshee on the way. If Kelazhur can just hold on now, he's going to be in an excellent position. Major is grabbing a Viking back at home, though, so I do like this from him. He's sort of realizing that, well, he didn't do enough damage to outright kill his opponent, so there will be some sort of transition, and the most common one would probably be going into those Banshees. So nice response there, going into that Viking straight off the bat.
Yeah, I even saw the starport there for a second, so he probably knows what's most likely is coming out here. You can't know for sure unless you see that tech lab researching. But, well, the Viking goes straight across the map here. I think he's kind of misreading the situation. The Banshee is going to come in here, and there's nothing to fire upwards, even though the cloak hasn't finished, and that would go.
This is going to be rough. No anti-air defense. The Raven is going to come out of this starport. Sure, it can drop a turret, but he can just you know, leave the vicinity of it. And now with this Viking, I think it was actually going to try to catch the Banshee, you know, as it was leaving the base of his opponent. Sort of backfiring here, actually. And Major now suffering quite significant economical damage.
8 more kills so far by Kelazhur. Really good amount to start off with. And now he realizes that this Banshee most likely is going to go down. So he just suicides it in and gets 10 kills in total. That's a great number. I think, yeah, he got a second one, but that is going to be it for now. No more in production. Even switched the production facilities here for the add-ons, and it looks like he's going into Kelazhur. That is going into bio.
Yeah, I mean, wait, what is he doing? He's moving his starport. I thought he was gonna wanted to drop that down on the reactor, but no. Gonna build a second one here, so probably see one of these racks float on over. He's adding in siege tanks now as well to complement his force. Looking to catch another Banshee here, and he's going to find it, Alex, with this Raven as well. So Cloak is not going to be able to keep this one alive. Good catch. They're very important catch, actually, there for Major, because, I mean, he's already suffered considerable economical damage himself, even though with that aggressive opener doing fairly well. Still falling behind just because of that really quick second CC from Kelazhur, realizing that he had held.
Yeah, and although Kelazhur lost both his Banshees, I have to say, trading each Banshee for 5 SCV kills each, if you spread them out, I spread out the counts, I'd say is still pretty much worth it. And now we see Kelazhur being ahead at 8 SCVs, it's a good count, and he's already getting his 3rd command center, so everything looking really solid here for Kelazhur. Now Major is still not in the position where he's added the infrastructure, so we don't know if he wants to add more factories soon, because he's still cranking out those Vikings, but if he wants to go bio, he needs to add the barracks right away, because his stim hasn't even started.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Very important. The Major perhaps been a bit indecisive, but right now he's going to focus on this drop. 3 Hellions in this Medivac. Actually in a not the best angle here, so they only get a single SCV kill. And that's going to be it now. Loses one of these Hellions. Is going to boost out here. Perhaps pick off the SCV constructing that command center. Slow that down a little bit, but still, nonetheless, it's not going to be enough here. Kelazhur is just going to continuously pull ahead in the economy. And, well, right now he's looking very comfortable.
So, while Major, you know, known as the king of TVT, is right now struggling, I want to say he's not as behind as you might think still, because although we see Stim on the way, we see +1 on the way for Kelazhur, this is the kind of map where you can get back. Because if this was, let's say it was on a huge full play map where you can drop really easily, where you can force base rate, etc. It's one of those maps that it's really hard to come back into. Well, this is kind of the map where you have to push across the entire map into your opponent's defense. So I want to say, you know, this is most likely going to come into at least the late mid-game, to say the least, but, well, I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a hard call.
Yeah, definitely. Another drop attempted, by the way, from Major. Not doing anything. The 2 Hellions do fall to that siege tank. And right now he's just spread out these Marauders under Hellion on the map. Maintaining fairly good map vision, so he's going to at least know where if Kelazhur tries to move out on him here. He's just setting up defensively, though, with these siege tanks and a handful of bio.
Yeah, well, Major right now needs to do something about this 3rd base of Kelazhur, which is already set up. He's getting his own orbital right now, but that is a bit later. Now, Kelazhur is getting his armor finished up a bit late, I want to say, but his armor is started, and he's going to have his +2 starting in just a minute or so.
Want to mention here for a second that now, with Kelazhur having Stim and the upgrade advantage, perhaps could be looking to go for a bit of a timing attack, you know, towards the 3rd base of Major once he sees he's trying to secure it. Raven does come in here, drops a couple of these sentry turrets, not really going to do too much. Does force a big stim though on Kelazhur's army, so that's always nice, you know, try to hurt it by forcing those stims.
So, Kelazhur, as he's coming in right now, if he doesn't see a stim for Major, that might be a good tip-off. Now, he's going to see as well, this is bio tank, but if he doesn't see a +1, that's a big talent. Oh my god, if he gets a few tanks,
oh
that's a big
yes, 2 siege tanks, loses a marine and gets out of there. Wow. Excellent. Excellent drop here from Kelazhur, getting a lot of value, and he got the scouting as well. One thing though, Alex, that would have me a little concerned, I guess, is the fact that he generally only saw tanks. I don't know if he saw the marines actually swing in there. So, like, if he only saw the siege tanks, imagine him thinking, oh wait, I'm up against mech.
I don't know, man. I think he saw those Marines. I'm pretty sure.
Now let's hope so, at least, you know, for his sake.
Yeah, I think he got it. I think he got this. He even saw the barracks being built. So
Okay. Well,
3 barracks, that should indicate enough. Now,
Yes.
here's the thing. Although Kelazhur was ahead in the +1 department, we're going to see Major with the earlier second and nearby kind of catch up, as he's now catching Major on the map.
well, this is looking pretty bad right now for Red Terran, losing a lot of units right in the middle of the map. They were not even fighting. They were gunned down as they were trying to retreat. So, a couple of free units there, actually, for Kelazhur. And he's going to be moving towards this third base. A Major darting on forward with these tanks, trying to get a good position. And this is actually a pretty bad angle for Kelazhur to engage in, taking a lot of that siege tank fire.
At the same time, we see that Raven once again starting to kill off a few workers. I like this from Major. He's just buying time, keeping Kelazhur back. He has the map, rather the air control, and well, he's just doing everything he can while Kelazhur kind of feels that he needs to push into this.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure on both of these guys. A couple of SCVs do go down to some of these siege tanks. Now dots on forward. Still, like you said, that air control so important here. Moves on a little too far and ends up losing a handful of Marines there as he trades off for Viking. But I mean, he's laying siege to the left-hand side or the north side of this mineral line, so it's going to make things a lot harder for Major to continue mining operations in this third base.
Yeah, Lower Swedes went down there, and Major wants to go in here. I'm not sure if he wants to though, for real, because that's a lot of Marines going down. Although all those medevacs do help, it don't help enough.
No, that was a bit of a misstep there from Major. I think he was overestimating the number of units he had compared to those of Kelazhur, and ended up giving away the majority of his bio forces. And well, that's generally not a good thing to be doing.
No, well, we're gonna see here, because Major losing all those Marines needs to kind of be defensive. Now, here's the thing in TvT: if you start getting a defensive, often it's not really enough for your opponents to just go for the straight up push right into you. In that case, he needs to have the air control. He might go for Doom Drop to kind of finish off, or he goes for very rapid expansion. Right now we see a 4th already for Kelazhur. He can even set up a 5th if he wanted to, because of the kind of lead he has. And
Yeah, I like this.
yeah, and all the mules you get from that, you can actually start just focusing on your army instead of that kind of SCV count as well.
That's very true.
Oh, this is dangerous though.
Okay, big load up here.
Oh, this
He's
is really
going to catch
dangerous.
it. Barely gets a medevac. He's boosting out of there now. So suddenly, Major will have to respond. Does he have anything in position? A couple of Marines will come out of these production facilities, but they are not in time to catch any of these medevacs. And almost everything unloads. And here we have siege tanks on the high ground, tanks on the low ground as well. And Major pushing up over his ramp. He is actually knocking down a lot of this, but Kelazhur going for the drop right on top of these siege tanks. Going to be able to gun these down, and right now he's got a dominant position right on top of the production of his opponent and taking a vast supply advantage here.
Yeah, beautiful engagement here for Kelazhur, and every second the Major waits means that he's going to lose more of his infrastructure.
No.
Most of these barracks are going down, and here we go. Major needs to push into it, and he's going to clean this up, but that's just eventually. Now Kelazhur has to run back, but he's just already rallying more troops across the map, and he's looking towards this third base. Right now we see that Kelazhur doesn't just trade armies with Major, but also kind of resets the count with a superior economy, meaning that he's just taking a big advantage by the second.
Now keep in mind as well, you know, he was right on top of that production, brought down a racks or two, and he's doubling the racks count of Major. So not only does he have more money and better upgrades, but he's going to have the ability to produce more units. So eventually Kelazhur, now on a very hard timer, is eventually going to just get overrun.
So right now, Major needs to do something. I think he's trying to just play his game and feel he can win by his strengths, but I'm not sure if that's enough by now. Now, we've seen some pretty crazy moments where you can just go for that kind of Doom Drop and hope for it to work, but we already see a few of these missile turrets being set up in the natural of Kelazhur, and that Sense Tower just helping so much. Same for Major though, so he's going to be ready for the next kind of Doom Drop that Kelazhur tries.
Now we still have that section of land though, as you guys can see here, where he decided to go for that first initial big drop. Still completely open. We'll see. Kelazhur looking to find that angle once again, and actually these armies sort of circumventing each other. Scans go down so they know the positions. And, well, right now Major is out of position to deal with this. Tries to go with a bit of a sandwich, but I don't know if that is the correct call. He needs to be so careful with how he engages this.
Oh, but Kelazhur's taking the best engagement, to be honest. He steps right into the fire here of Major with a great concave, and he's taking damage from that siege tank.
Forced to cancel on that 4th command center, though.
Well, that's a bit painful. I'm not sure, though. I mean, Kelazhur lost so many Marines because of that. I'm not sure if it was worth it. Now Major looking for the wraparound. If he managed to kill the siege tanks here for Kelazhur, we're going to see Major actually taking a big lead in siege tanks.
Yeah, but I mean, still, he's going to be able to intercept this reinforcement. But is it going to be more? Is it going to be too much here? We'll have to see. No, looks like Major will be able to overrun this. So right now, the army of Kelazhur is a little bit isolated. But Major needs to be careful himself to not give up these medevacs and these marines in the center of the map. If they get trapped between this little army here and the one to the north, I mean, they would be in a lot of trouble. They do manage to avoid it for now, though.
They do. I mean, it is difficult to push into 5 tanks, but they're not perfectly spread out. They're pretty much on top of each other, so dropping on top of them will be extremely effective. Now, Major getting this watchtower is going to make sure he sees when the army of Kelazhur does arrive, and here we go. So Kelazhur now not going to have the element of surprise, but he does have the great army, and that's a pretty good advantage.
Yeah, it's going to force Major back it. More medevacs and a tank as well. Oh, look at this, darting on forward there with that +3 attack already in operation. He's going to be able to isolate that right-hand flank. And now Major trying to go for a drop here, but the medevac full of units does get taken out. And still, contained on these 3 bases versus the 4 of his opponent. Major in a very, very rough spot.
He is, and Kelazhur right now is just kind of choking at his opponent almost. Major trying to keep a track of his opponent's movements here by having a Marine at the gold base, but I mean, Kelazhur can take any base at this moment, and Major's still stuck on his 3 base economy. Kind of mind, or actually 100% mine dry his main, soon to mine out his natural. Just right now, losing more and more by the moment.
Managed to clean up the group of units here on the left-hand side. So that was fairly nice. But still, like, even if you trade efficiently in terms of value, you're still going to be falling behind just because not having that 4th command center is hurting Major so much. And now with this big drop once again, Kelazhur with that max is going to go for a massive air armada here, but there are so many turrets. Is this a bit of a misstep here from Kelazhur? We'll have to see how many of these medevacs are going to go down. A ton! Manages to unload a lot of these troops, but still, a lot of medevacs have fallen. But this is an excellent position right now for Kelazhur in the natural of Major.
Yeah, the thing is, most of those medevacs going down were medevacs that weren't loaded with any units whatsoever. Now that Major tries to push in here, this is the medevac that was having units inside of it. And, well, all that Kelazhur kind of has to do right now is kill for as much as he can, and then he can just lift up if he wants to. He harasses with his forces to the left-hand flank as well,
man.
so he's spreading Major thin, and he knows he's up in army. He just wants to straighten here a bit, and he's going to do so. Might even stim it right on top of those tanks, and that's too much for Major.
Yeah, went right for the kill there. Very nice move to send those reinforcements to the far left, managing to take down that 4th command center. And even though I don't think it would have mattered too much, Major was, gonna say, he was kind of dead, you know, from the moment that that big drop went down, because he was just behind in every single department. And in a mirror matchup like that versus someone who plays at an equal skill level or sort of at a high caliber, it's very unlikely that they're going to be making such a big decisive mistake that you can swing back from such a disadvantage.
Oh yeah. Now, the problem as well, of course, being that he decided to go home with those Marauders, that he couldn't really make anything more happen. I'm a bit surprised because he did send home a Marauder to kind of save himself against that Reaper, which is understandable, but he would have 3 Marauders to push up that ramp against 3 Marines. And last time I checked, 3 Marauders do beat 3 Marines, and you don't even have to engage the bunker because you do have that engineering bay that you so easily can cancel. I think he got a bit afraid though, because you don't really know how capable your opponent is in holding it.
I think he was also scared about the fact that, he cancels that, then the SCVs can actually try to go for a mineral walk wrap around, maybe above the ramp or on the ramp, which of course is a risk in itself. So
and then you just lose the game straight out.
Yeah, because like you lose the bulk of those units, then your opponent secures the top of the ramp with that bunker. It just becomes too hard to break. But nonetheless, with a great opener from Major, just not ending up doing enough. And then we saw a good swing back with those Banshees from Kelazhur. Keep that in mind. I mean, he picked up 10 kills for the cost of 2 Banshees, and faster second CC, and everything there sort of just spiraled out of control in the favor of our Blue Terran. Kelazhur, who is now up by 1 game in this finals.
Yeah, so I did predict 4-1, didn't I?
Yeah, but you said to Major.
Well, it's a good start.
Yeah, you can't. Okay, so this means that Kelazhur has his first map point, but what you say is his only map point, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sticking by it, even though it's going to be Probably my final words as a caster. It's gonna be like, yes, Major got this easy, but then maybe Kelazhur wins.
Famous
4-0.
last words.
Famous last words. Indeed. I mean, the thing is, Major on paper is the stronger TVT player. There's no question about it. But then again, Kelazhur is not a weak player whatsoever, and
No,
you can't stab yourself blind on statistics. I mean, my friend Winter almost beat Yoda and Jax in the same group
I remember
last
that.
year.
DreamHack Stockholm.
Yeah, like, according to paper, he should not even be able to be close to taking a single map from them. So, I mean, there are big upsets. There have been big upsets before, absolutely. I mean, we even saw, we saw Firecake do amazingly recently. Coming out kind of from nowhere. Like, everyone knows Firecake since a long time ago, but when did you see Firecake last time, like, beat just about every single pro in the scene? Like, when was the last time you saw that?
The last time I can think about Firecake was when he was going to play Rain and Fragbite Masters.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
like the last time I, thinking back about him. Well, that being said, first map concluded here. We have Kelazhur up by 1 game. Make sure, guys, to jump onto Twitter and hashtag SC2CopaAmerica to join in the conversation, join in the fun. Highlights of the map, matches, share screenshots and stuff like that, because I don't have time for that, so you guys will have to do me that favor. Let's see here, though. As you guys jump onto Twitter, I have to make sure that everything is up and running, because as you can see, my hands aren't actually free. I'm keeping them on the mouse and keyboard, because I'm doing the observing today, so hopefully it is up to par. I can't compete with Alex, our in-house DreamHack observer, but I am doing my best.
Anything to make you look bad, man.
Anything to make me look bad. That's how we roll. That's how we do it.
That's why I started doing observing in the first place.
Just
I was afraid that
maybe I can make Lucas look terrible in some regard. Like, what can I do?
Yeah, and I started learning to play the piano.
Okay, so you know what? I'm miles. I have such a significant lead in that department.
Give me a month.
I'll give you a month. You'll have to play like 24 hours a day for that.
I'm gonna catch up to your what is it like 12 years of playing?
I've played for 18 years.
18 years. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah, so I had to play about 360 hours per day for a good 3 months probably to catch up.
Yeah, that's you'll have to go back in time.
Yes, a few times probably.
That being said, though, guys, we are now loaded in and good to go on our second map. Whoa! Pause, please, eh? Let's hope it's not going to be anything too big.
What are you doing, man?
I was getting up. I have this window thing open, right? And it's getting a bit chilly, so I was thinking maybe as we do introductions, I can just.
Were you trying to sneak away during the introductions?
Yeah, I was trying to bail. I did not want to introduce our players. I'm so sorry.
Well, what is this?
But
you're just gonna let me introduce while you
yeah, just go ahead. Just take it away.
Wow, that's just weird. No, but I'm waiting for this pause. I'm seeing what's going on here. Kelazhur needed a moment. Not really sure what's going on, but hopefully it's going to be okay.
Yeah, nothing too big. I mean, we've had guys that have had hardware issues and stuff like that before, but hopefully, like we've said, shouldn't be too big. And there we are. Look at that. We are back in. So, Alex, I'm going to let you just go on right ahead.
Well, thank you very much, Lucas. Now, okay, our first player in the top left-hand corner, currently teamless, down 1 game in this best out of 7, it is Major. And his opponent in the bottom right-hand corner, currently playing for Root, taking down his team captain in the previous series. It is none other than the blue Terran known as Kelazhur. Who's right now up 1 game in this best out of 7 and looking to take down his former teammates.
Map number 2. And if your prediction is correct, we could see Kelazhur lose the next 4 games. But I think that you are wrong, so we're going to see him win maybe more.
1 more game?
That was such a weird sentence. I'm never going to say that ever again.
Oh, you say so.
We'll see him win maybe more.
Yeah, we'll see him win maybe more. The thing is, you say you're not going to repeat it, but trust me.
It happens, maybe.
Yeah, next cast.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see Major win more, maybe. Gas first here from both players. So, I mean, expect fairly quick factory play. Perhaps he Hellion elevation drop play with Marines to go with that. Maybe ultra fast Banshees. or just good old-fashioned Reaper play?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do from it, but it's very common as well, you know, with the, I said, the kind of elevator play. It's very common as well to go into that Banshee play really early, having a few Hellions onto the map with those, maybe a Reaper or so. But now, of course, with being gas first, you're probably gonna skip out the Reaper at the beginning at least. Now, we have seen delayed Reapers before to make sure you get the scouts and harass a bit.
That is true. We'll just have to see what these guys want to be doing with the gas. Reaper, both sides of things. Major grabbing the faster factory here. Kelazhur now nearing that 100 gas that he needs. Is going to get scouted, so he knows what Major is up to. Let's see, Kelazhur though, he has reached the gas, not the minerals. And there we have the factory of his own. So these guys pretty much mirroring each other's builds. And, well, we'll just have to see, can they make anything happen with these first initial Reapers? And I don't think so.
No, I would be surprised. And actually going up to several Reapers here. Interesting to go for that gas first, to start just massing Reapers with a quick factory. I mean, usually we do maybe see a Reaper or so, but they go for several. And look at this Major. He's saving his Reapers. He knows Kelazhur is going for this. This is not something you just do. This is something you expect.
Yeah, this is some really cute play out of Major, and this can be very important. Is going to start deflecting this for now. But I mean, the big thing would be, Alex. You know, imagine if he would be able to catch Kelazhur's first Reaper here. That would give him a massive advantage in the early game. But he needs to be careful now, because if he overextends, he's actually going to end up losing this, and 2 versus 1 is not the fight you want to be taking, and there we go. Reaper does go down, and suddenly Major, down by that Reaper count, might actually get number 2, but needs to be so careful. These blue Reapers are actually lining up. And is it going to fall? Oh, no. Managed to just get out of that.
That Reaper was move commanded on the, the Hellion was move commanded on the Reaper, so he kind of dislodged the targeting, but you know what? Kelazhur right now, kind of in the lead. He has more health than his Hellion. That's how close this game is right now.
Oh yeah, this is what I also like about mirror matchups like this. You know, it all comes down to all of the tiny details. And now we saw these guys push each other back and forth, like a seesaw swing almost. And it just comes to prove how back and forth these things can truly be, like to the minuscule details that can really change the outcome of the game. But here we go. Major is going to come in, and he is going to see, well, pretty much everything here for his opponent.
Yeah, he sees the engineering bay, even delays it a bit, and now this is, of course, a bit good to know, of course, because if you were going for Banshees yourself, it's no longer viable. But the big thing here is that he sees the tech lab researching something with his starport on, and the starport is creating a unit. That means, of course, that we're going to see Banshees come out here from Kelazhur.
And he just starts that Viking right away.
Ooh. Whoa. Did Major just take that engagement?
Whoa.
Did you see the engagement?
Oh, no.
Oh, you missed it. Oh,
yeah, I was paying so much attention to the fact I was making a Viking.
Well, that is important too, I guess. No, but Mage just killed off. What was that? That was a good. That was okay. It was just a Hellion, I guess, but that was a lot of units.
I mean, still a nice pick. The Viking is actually going to intercept this Banshee though from Kelazhur, so this is very important. Not only is it going to sort of nullify the damage time that this Banshee has, but if he gets the kill, that means pretty much wasted money here, and this cloak might not even come into play. We'll have to see. That does manage to barely get away here. Major, though, is giving chase.
Yeah, Major's getting more Vikings right away. Kelazhur, he got a Viking between, but he's getting another Banshee. Did finish up Cloak now, but we do have turrets set up, and I love this from Major. He's being so safe right now. 1 turret in each mirror line, and a turret!
Oh.
And it's Brooks' facility.
We'll see if he decides to commit a scan to this. Has one almost available here. And, oh, this Banshee is so low! One more hit.
Need to, though.
One more hit. No, I mean, there's no real damage potential for this Banshee anyway, so I guess he's just going to sort of wait until its energy runs out. We'll have to repair this tech lab, though.
Yeah, I don't
know. There we go.
He baits it in. I love this from Major. Being a bit cheeky.
Banshee gets taken out. Kelazhur back at home with his natural CC done. Infrastructure now being added in here. 2 more barracks, so it's going to be a bio play. Major here, once again with slightly later infrastructure. right now adding a Raven and a siege tank to go with this. Only running on a single barracks, and while he is going to have a slight army advantage for now, will end up falling behind in the mid game if he doesn't start adding those racks or factories very quickly.
Oh yeah, he was late with the infrastructure, as you point out here, but now look at this Major right away adding a third command center, and he was earlier with his second one as well, while Kelazhur was the one to go for the earliest Stargate, and that means we do see Major now with a 42 to 34 kind of SCV lead. Not sure if you caught the middle map as well.
I
we
did
see.
I did actually.
Cool,
So,
cool. So that was a small little thing.
yeah, wouldn't mind there getting a Marine or two.
Yeah.
Mainly just slowing down, forcing out a scan. Nothing significant. We're gonna have a bit of a fight here though, trying to focus fire that Viking, or rather that Raven. So does manage to barely miss it.
Potentially, there are more Marines for Major, and last time I checked, more beats less.
Yes, that is actually true. I mean, we saw that very evidently in that first map, and now Major with the advantage, up in workers. I do believe he's actually going to be up in these upgrades. Let's take a look here. Yes, no upgrades even started right now. Oh no, I mean Kelazhur actually going to be ahead in these upgrades, but he is down in that economy. So a bit of a trade-off from what we saw in last game.
Yeah, now the thing is here though, Major adds 4 barracks right away, like right away, to make sure his Marine production is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Now he's adding his 1-1, and to be honest, it's not that late compared to Kelazhur. So both players having pretty late 1-1s, but he's done a great job shutting down these Banshees. And while this last Banshee did get 7 kills in total, sure, but that was pretty late into the game. It doesn't matter too much right now. Mostly, it wasn't SV kills. So I like Major's position a lot right now. And I want to say, if he manages to set up the third base and Kelazhur can't drop him, that would be really, really strong for him.
Yeah.
Really good for him. What? Well, it's gonna put him in a strong position, and it's good for him. That was weird.
It's gonna be beneficial. It's gonna be good for Major.
Yes, I think it's
and bad for Kelazhur.
It's a time of the day or night rather that just messes with our vocabulary.
Wait, I don't even know what time it is locally here in Sweden.
Past 3 a.m. Yes.
Okay, so we're past 3. We hit that mark, and of course, any of you guys tuning in, you're watching Copa America. And this is game number 2 in this best out of 7 finals between Kelazhur and Major. And right now, well, Major, you know, with that pretty good advantage, he's setting up that third base. He's pumping those upgrades. Slightly faster +2 attack here for Kelazhur, but when you have a smaller army, it's not going to be that deciding, really.
Yeah, I want to see Major get that armory right away, though. I hate when the players do delay that, and it's such a fundamental thing to get those upgrades in time to make sure that your opponent doesn't hit that 2-2, and now Major adds that. But that's after his +1 already finished, and his armor is 15 seconds away from finishing, so there's going to be almost a minute's downtime for his upgrades, if not even more so.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and you know, I think that is actually a little bit on the path here for Kelazhur to take things back if he could hit a very strong 2-2 timing with good angling. That being said, though, we'll have to see. Oh, that's okay. So that scan barely misses the army, but yes, like you say, Raven does swing in. It drops a couple of these turrets, and they actually end up doing some fair amounts of damage. Even going to be trading fairly efficiently versus these Marines. So very nice right now here for Major, getting some great value out of this Raven, and I mean, it's still here. He can actually go and drop another turret towards this third and stop that from building. But here's the big thing. We have Kelazhur on the counter-attack towards this third base, and he's setting up these tanks, and the Marines stimming on forward there. Gonna start picking off a couple of SCs, and this third CC is gonna fall! Is he gonna go down?
I think it might just do so. Right there, see Major trying desperately to prepare, but we do see Kelazhur getting that, and Major can't even stim into those tanks. Now, if Major got the army in trade of this, that would be amazing for Major, but he gets nothing, and now Kelazhur could technically just start to leave. Now, he has to be careful, though.
Yeah, but the thing here, Alex, Major, he used that Raven, like I pointed out, like he could swing in, and he did just that, and, well, he forced a cancel on that third command center, so now they're going to be on even bases. But keep in mind, Major has still maintained a better economy, and just look at that supply.
Well, that is very true. Now, this, of course, was very important though for Kelazhur, because that was a clean kill of the command center, which, of course, at this point is 400 minerals, and, of course, tons of mining time, tons of workers. So, although, as you say, Major is still pretty far ahead, especially in army.
Oh, this is going to be
Watch out right
scary.
now.
This does siege up here, and the Marines starting on forward, but I don't think the tank numbers are high enough here for Kelazhur. Needs to be so careful. His siege tanks are isolated, and they're going to get taken down here, and this is suddenly taking a turn for the worse yet again here for our blue Terran.
It truly is, and I feel right now Major, he could even lift and just go for the main, as long as he watch out for those Marines. But Kelazhur, well, he's holding on. But as I said, Major still, he lost a big portion of that lead he had by losing that third.
Yeah, the big thing though, I personally feel, is, you know, how do I survive the big assault here from my opponent? That's the scary part, right?
Now, that is a good question, Tenshi.
Oh,
now, Kelazhur needs to set up well enough that Major can't push in, but as he can't get his own third up, Major could just land his own third and just win, but it looks like he wants to really just finish this game, and look at that, Seeker missile going down.
Oh man, this is going to be such a brutal fight here. Kelazhur is going to get completely demolished. That Seeker missile first hitting those tanks, and he's just wrecking everything on the front line here, and going to force a very quick GG out of Kelazhur, tying the series up 1-1. So Major now swinging things back with an excellent game.
Oh yeah, I have to say, Major did really well that game, and I feel that they actually did just about the same builds, but a bit reversed after the weird opening, of course. But we saw Major being the one with the earlier starport, and the later command center. While Kelazhur was the one with the late starport and earlier command center. But again, of course, Kelazhur was the one to constantly make Banshees as he did this game as well. So we're going to see if it's a trend, if Kelazhur wants to keep on always making Banshees. But it seems like both these games, it's being the one who gets that earliest second base and plays a bit more defensive, maybe with some harassment, that ends up kind of taking the game.
Yeah, it was a great swing around there, and I guess he sort of just emphasized his advantage already, not really giving his opponent any opportunity to break things in. The only decisive counter damage or event that sort of tilted the game a bit more, less in favor of Major, was the fact that he got that third command center kill, which, like you said, was an extremely clean one. Nonetheless, he was just down by like 40 or 50 army supply, and even though you sort of equalize the economy, you have to make sure to try to survive that big assault. And the fact that he lost those tanks as he was trying to pull back home those 3 siege tanks on the right hand side getting isolated, that was one of the most important parts here as we were sort of closing or entering the closing stages of that game, just because he literally had no tanks. He had like 3 or 4 siege tanks versus like the double 8 or 10 of Major, and there's just no way that you can hold the front line like that.
No, it would be very difficult. It would be very difficult. Now, next map, Tenshi, game number 3 is going to be an Iron Fortress.
Bigger map.
And, well, so far my prediction is going to be true.
It is looking like it. 1-1. Is Major going to be able to make this a 4-1? And, well, I guess I'll have to buy you a drink if you're right. We'll actually we'll say that, guys. So we're putting a drink on the line for this one.
You buy me a Coke with lemons in it?
I'll buy you a Coke with lemons in it, and if
I love that.
Yeah, you'll buy me a 4 centiliter shot of vodka.
Well, to be honest, there's something actually I've thought about like that, because I know the lemon brings out the citric flavor of the Coke, because it's actually citric acid in it, but like the difference between a canned Coke you buy in a store and actually having Coke served to you in a restaurant with ice cubes.
Oh, it's really different. Isn't the one like at the restaurant sort of thinned out with water?
People think it's thinned out because
it's not.
No, because when you go to McDonald's, etc., you see like how they have Coke and like 70% water. You know how you hate that? It's actually because it's an extract plus water. It's not just genuine Coke and they thin it out. It's actually it actually is a kind of an extract they blend out with Coke.
Rip Coke.
Or with water.
Well, I'm just gonna segue into our third map that way. So our first player here in the bottom left, in the red, representing himself and Coca-Cola, because Coca-Cola is red. It's gonna be Major. He's actually
great segue.
He's not sponsored by Coca-Cola, guys. Don't believe me in this one. His opponent in the top left, playing for Team Root though. It is going to be Kelazhur, who dropped one of those games. So, Kelazhur, if I lose this bet, that means that, well, you owe me a drink, or you owe Alex a drink.
Yes, you need to buy me a Coke.
We'll tweet at him.
Tweet.
Hey dude,
tweet your Cokes.
we made this bet right for one of your matches that if you lose, well, you'll have to buy us all drinks.
I'm like, wait, I didn't agree to that.
Well, that's just how
We-
the world
we-
is a dark place, Kelazhur.
We agreed for you by proxy. It's like, what?
A proxy agreement.
Well, it would be the protest way. Now, here's the thing. Major goes for the quicker gas, but just so slightly, so won't matter too much. Very similar openings to the previous game. Now, this is an Iron Fortress though, so you won't find your opponent right away unless you are extremely good at
with that
guessing.
RNG.
Exactly, we've been googling a bit too much on the map hack forums.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That would be terrible.
Yes, it would.
I hope these guys, I don't think they hack.
I don't think anyone who competes should be, but
Oh,
you know what?
man, I have names of people who do that though.
Oh, you should not be naming.
I'm
people.
not gonna.
You're gonna go for like a big spoiler.
Yeah, I'm not gonna doom anyone in real life by saying their name or StarCraft name on the internet on stream. I'm not gonna be that guy.
You're not gonna be the whistleblower.
I'm not gonna be the whistleblower.
I played Outlast.
Yeah, dude, I played through the first game. It was absolutely terrifying.
I'm one of those people who's like, that game doesn't look too scary, and I
And
just
then you
watched the
play it,
playthrough.
and then you just like,
No,
wanna-
I just want to play it through. I'm like, nah, it wasn't scary.
Stop right there. Stop right there, criminal scum.
Actually, to be honest though, I did play Amnesia in the middle of the night.
The first
with
one?
all
Or
lights.
the
yeah,
fir-
the first one, not
okay.
Machine for Pigs.
Yeah, okay.
And like, I just like when I bought it, like me and a lot of friends bought it on Steam, I believe it was.
You could buy like I think you could actually like for a while buy it as a batch of like 4. So you could play with, or rather, so you and your friends could enjoy that experience together.
Well, anyhow, like I played it in the middle of the night, alone at home, in the dark, and it wasn't that terrifying. So, like, what can I say? I am a badass. Now, someone else is.
Did you add that kappa to it?
Well, it was implied. Now, we do have, talking about badasses, we have Major go for that Reaper first, who's going to be his own badass because he's going to alone.
Oh,
He's going to be the Lone Ranger, jumping up here if he can, but then the flamethrower finds him.
yeah, that's like not a hero thing to do to get roasted, you know. He's gonna be forced to pull back here. Kelazhur actually, Alex, he did go for those reacted marines instead, so changing things up a little bit here. Utilizing that gas for a much faster starport play. No second gas taken yet though, so he's just gonna focus right now on investing a lot in these mineral heavy units. We'll see if he goes for that medevac first though.
Wait, hold your horses. Major goes for that early command center again, and looking for the previous 2 games, Major's won the game.
Yeah, well, he won game 2, not game 1. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, exactly, and Kelazhur went for the early CC then. So, there you go, statistics for you.
Yeah, okay, so that's a sign that whoever goes for the
Oh,
faster CC
oh,
is going to win.
oh.
And look at this, Major with that earlier CC, taking the advantage in this fight, taking both of those Hellions right now. Needs to be a little careful though. These Marines have a lot of damage, and the Hellions, of course, do not regenerate like those Reapers, who are actually going to dart up into the main here. Start doing some damage. Will he be able to clean this up? So gets one of the Hellions, but now he has to deal with these Reapers in his main. Major, though, has to be equally as careful, not let these guys get surrounded. But he's already up to a total of 2 SCV kills. Loses 1, so only a single Reaper does remain. Is eventually going to end up falling, I believe. And there we go. So good cleanup here from Kelazhur. And the medevac now loaded up, and it is on a mission.
Yeah, but what can you do against the power of the CC? We already see.
Oh,
Major.
that natural CC, it just
Yes!
makes your unit so much better.
You can see how the micro potential of Major is just climbing as we speak.
It
Now-
skyrockets. For every CC he builds, he gets like 15% more everything.
Yes, his attributes improve.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Major has a slight SV lead. It's going to really get ahead now because of this earlier CC. But, as you say, he has to defend against this. And you always want to catch this drop just as he comes down. But if you don't catch it in time,
Oh, or you can catch it with 4 Hellions.
that's another way. But then again, this is a double drop.
Oh, yeah, there we
A
go.
double sandwich.
Double sandwich.
Yes, a BLT double
A
sandwich.
sandwich always has 2 sides to it, and so do 2 medevac drops. Does load up here, and he's going to try to find an angle yet again. There is a spotting depot, though. And how many Vikings do we have for Major? 2 in total.
Oh, they could absolutely shut these drops down.
Yeah, okay, so this is going to be painful, right, for Kelazhur, because they put these medevac on the time, but a very good spread out here, so he's not going to be suffering a lot of splash damage from these Hellions if he actually maintains this fairly good position. We'll have to see how well he can trade. starting to bunch up these units a little bit here. Needs to be very careful, but I mean, he's already killed a couple of SCVs, and they're trading quite evenly. So this drop ended up being much better than I first anticipated for Kelazhur.
Yes, 6 SCVs for that. Sure thing.
And a handful of the army of Major. So
oh yeah. So I mean, army-wise, it was a bit inefficient, but then again, he got 6 SCVs. So instead of being 9 workers behind, it's just 6 workers behind. It doesn't matter too much now. And the
actually just 3. Because Kelazhur continued making SCVs behind this.
Did I say 6?
I mean, I guess because you saw he killed 6, you know.
Oh
like,
yeah, I meant 3. I'm not sure what I'm saying. Yeah, he killed 6, so he's 3 behind.
Correlation is that 3 times 2 is equals 6, so I'm gonna let that one slip.
Oh my god, you are right.
Yeah, see, maybe I'm the one who's a math who knows math. I'm actually terrible at maths.
It's okay.
It is okay.
We can't all be amazing like me.
We can't be all amazing. We can't all be amazing like you. I mean, you know math. You can observe.
Yeah.
You can't play
I'm handsome. Wait, no, crap. I missed one.
You missed one.
I missed the important one.
You missed the most important one in esports.
No, Major goes for. Wait, okay. I'm just gonna.
Don't take fire from the tank, Major.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, I mean, 82 shots there. Needs to be a little careful.
So here's the thing. Major goes for Cloak Banshees at this stage in the game. So it looks like he wants to use them in his composition, which is a very interesting move.
I mean, yet again, this thing with Major, right? Like, he's so late with adding that infrastructure. No additional racks have gone down. Kelazhur, to be fair, with the way that he opened, shouldn't be expected to see those additional racks for a little while. But still, Major always sort of taking his time, pacing himself. And now Kelazhur is going to go for another drop again. This time, it's going to be 3 medevacs.
Well, if 2 didn't work, if 1 didn't work, 2 worked pretty well, and 3 must work amazingly, right?
Yeah, I mean, by that logic, we'll just see him continuously drop, but of course, medevacs, very weak versus Viking missiles, and one is getting lower and lower. He sees one of these Banshees on his way in, but still, the Vikings now not in position, but their armories and tanks, and he needs to be so careful. He's already boosted, and he's unloading these siege tanks, but they're going to go down before they even get off any volleys. Only a single tank does remain, and now we see Major with control of that high ground. This drop just not really doing what it was out to do, and the medevacs are even going to be going down here as well. And back at home, he was getting harassed by these Banshees, so Major taking a fairly decisive 3rd game here.
Yeah, so 10 workers went down, by the way, in the background of Kelazhur by the 2 Banshees going in, 1 in the main and 1 in natural. And as well as seeing that 3rd command center away, I guess that's too much for Kelazhur. I didn't expect he would leave that early, just calling the GG, but then again, I mean, it's understandable. He was pretty far behind.
I was looking, just a hard situation to recover from there, because, I mean, even with that 2 medevac drop doing decent amounts of damage, like fairly even trade, Major still maintained economical advantage, and, well, I think the fact that he was doing a really good job keeping Vikings on the map, maintaining a vision and stuff like that, so he knew when and what angles Kelazhur would be attacking from, just sort of put a lot of pressure on his opponent, forcing the hand of Kelazhur to unload earlier or in the wrong position and stuff like that. So just very good game sense here from Major, really. Sort of having the units most of the time ready, anticipating where those drops would be coming in.
Yeah, I'd say Major playing that game very well, and, well, Tenchi, do you notice a trend?
No, stop.
The command
the
center.
Command center, that's like the thing.
Yeah, it's the thing.
It's the talisman.
Dude, 3 out of 3 games, 100% correct.
Whoever went for that second CC first actually ended up winning. We'll see now. So what happens if both of these guys go like gas rack CC at the exact same time? So then is that going to come down to the 3rd CC?
No. What happens then, of course, having to verify your TVT, what happens then is they get into this really awkward Sky Terror and Raven composition. Eventually, all the Vikings trade out, and you end up with Raven versus Raven and 1 command center in each corner, and then a draw, having to play the game again. So
I hope not.
It's kind of like chess. It's like if you play perfectly
chess on steroids
as the black side, then you will at best tie if you play against someone who plays perfectly as well. Okay. So you can actually just tie games in that case.
So you will actually always, if you play perfectly 100% of the time, you will always force a tie.
So if both players play perfectly, the black player should never be able to win, technically.
Okay, so, well, I hope this is not going to be like chess then, because I want someone to win. And here we are, guys, jumping into map number 4. Our first player in the top left in the red. It is going to be none other than Major.
And I should say that I do hope as well that we don't see those drawn out draw games. I guess you could call them drawn games.
Tied games.
Super tied games. So in the bottom right hand corner, playing for root, it is Kelazhur.
Can he swing things back?
Nope.
Oh, nope. Just blatantly stating that.
I predicted a 4-1 for Major, and to be honest, I'm 100% correct so far.
He's got 50% of the score that he needs to win.
Yeah.
He's halfway there. I hope Kelazhur can turn things around. Like I said, I actually said 4-3. That was my final prediction in favor of Major. So I hope at least it'll come to that final deciding map number 7. And from there on, see who does what. But so gas first, yet again here. Both of our players. So we're going to be seeing that very standard way of opening. It's always like very common nowadays to go right up that tech tree to that starport. I can't even remember the last time I saw a game where they didn't do that.
Well, I guess the first game will be one. Heh. Nah. I'm a bit cheeky, I'm sorry. But you know how we have been spamming a bit with the Twitter? We actually got a nice fella here saying that he's saying go Kelazhur, and that is going to be Ricardo Pacheco.
Oh, Ricardo, thanks for tweeting, man. Hope you're enjoying the action here.
Yeah, we are.
He's being a righteous man here, you know. He's following the flag of Kelazhur because kind of putting my stakes on this guy because if he wins, that means you owe me a drink.
Oh no, that's not how it's supposed to be.
That's exactly how it's supposed to be. So
no.
There's no way getting out of this one.
I have to buy you more stuff.
You have to buy me more. Buy me everything. I owe you my life. So Major's gonna go right into that factory, and Kelazhur actually delaying his a little bit there with that slightly later gas, going up into gas number 2. So we're going to be seeing a fairly quick Banshee play, I assume, out of our blue Terran. Major though, what are you going to be doing, buddy?
Yeah, let's see what Major's up to here.
Second gas.
Okay.
Well then.
Yeah. Well then, both players go for second gas pretty quickly here. So I'm not going to rule out, Viking to Raven, but Banshee is looking more and more possible here, especially with that cloak upgrade.
Yeah, Major actually gets his stop at that a little faster. Of course with a slightly earlier gas. But, of course, that's just the 50 mineral thing, which of course means one less worker. Reaper does come up here, is maybe going to find a Marine kill, but no, is forced to get out of there before the Marine joins up with his mates.
Yeah, second Reaper does come out though, to join with his new mates, and they're going to jump up here and see if they can. Yeah, hand in hand, going to jump up and see if they can take down the Marines. Now, an issue, of course, with this kind of map is that when you jump to that middle ground, it actually buys time for the Marines while the Reapers can't have vision on them to actually DPS even more.
That's actually true. So you have like a lot of free damage that you can do there. Oh, he's gonna come up this ramp. He's gonna maybe lose the Reaper. Needs to be so careful. That SCV barely getting the one in the red there. Very, very low. He's gonna come up yet again. Oh, Kelazhur, be careful. He's gonna make his way around here. He will get that full scout, so he knows there's going to be cloaked Banshee on the way. I don't think he's going to see that Widowmine though, and now this Reaper is isolated. Does get taken out. Kelazhur though, starting to rally a couple of units across. He's already got a pair of Hellions out, and he's going straight for that Viking. No Banshee in sight.
Yeah, I like this from Kelazhur. It's going to kind of shut down the Banshee play, and this was a reaction after he saw the...
Ooh, catches the Widowmine! Can he kill it though? No!
No, it doesn't, but it doesn't connect either.
Oh.
Now it's going... Oh, I love this.
Ooh, nice!
But it does connect though.
Okay, but even though losing those Hellions, that was like sick.
That was fancy. Yes, it was really fancy.
Looked really good.
Now here's the thing. Kelazhur decided to get that Viking after he saw that this is going to be Banshee play from Major. So he got the Viking out right away, but sent it the wrong way. I'm not a big fan of this. Sending it out so early, if you send it the wrong way, it's really going to be difficult to defend properly. But then he goes back to his own Banshee creation, kind of. So,
well, he's going to go into Banshee. He's want to, of course, have the option to do some counter damage. There are 2 turrets here, so one to the north and one in the middle line. But this command center is going to get cancelled, and a couple of SCVs will end up falling here.
Yeah, the Viking
Gets
deals
the mule,
free.
actually.
That's a very nice snipe. Now we'll go down to the turret and the Viking and a few Marines here. So Kelazhur does shut it down. Now 4 SCVs and a mule did die.
Nice that he focused fire that mule was fairly fresh. So I mean, had a couple of, I think it was like at least 45 seconds, 40 seconds to go on it. So losing a lot of mining time there.
So right now it's kind of stalemate between these two guys, both getting their second base. But of course now Major getting his a bit quicker. So once again, Major probably will win the game. I really should stop that. Someone's gonna come in and is like, "What is this?"
Stop.
Yes.
Oh, but the Banshee is gonna get caught out here, and I think that's just gonna go down here for Kelazhur. Not really. He's not gonna get anything done with this.
No, he doesn't actually get his cloak, so that's gonna go down in flames.
Painful loss there for Wild Blue Terran.
Now here's the problem though. Kelazhur's getting a really quick third command center. Now of course it's not going to land right away, it's very susceptible, but it's going to grant him a very high amount of SCVs really quickly, while Major hasn't even begun thinking of a third. He couldn't even dream of a third at this point.
No, I don't think that's anything that he has in mind as of now. He probably wants to just make sure his natural is first and foremost secure. Maybe try to go for some pressure towards Kelazhur, and then, you know, behind that, establish that third base. But so if Kelazhur can sort of just hold on here and not die to a big frontal assault or suffer a lot of harassment damage, I think he's going to be in excellent shape. But it's all about if he can make sure to not die to, well, this kind of move out that we see from Major right now. But this is actually perhaps going to work in Kelazhur's favor, because that means that Major's not going to have anything to defend at home.
That is true, but at the same time, though, I'm not really sure if Kelazhur has enough to defend at his home territory.
Does he have tanks? Okay,
Not
no.
that many.
He has the first tank on the way right now, but here we go. The Hellions in the main mineral line of Major. He's going to actually get a lot of damage here. These SCVs not being pulled off mining at all.
Yeah, Major's not paying attention. He's going to lose just about his entire economy. But at the same time, though, he has the big army. That would have mind only connecting to one Marine, as he now has the natural for his taken.
This CC is going to die, even using the Seeker missile on this tank, and their CVs being pulled off the lines here. Tank does go down. Is he going to be able to clean things up here in his natural? No, the Vikings do land to assist it. Another tank does swing in. Okay, even though a lot of these workers have gone down in the main of Major, the big frontal assault here is going to be the big thing. Can he stop his opponent?
Well, that is the question right now. He's pulling every single SCV, and he knows if he can kill this off, he should be able to take this game out, and every single siege tank is about to go down, and he ends up 2 siege tanks to 1.
He's actually going to be able to take down everything on the ground here.
It's so close!
But he lost that. He lost that command center. He lost the command center. But the Hellions, though, here's the big thing: the Hellions are still doing damage right now to the economy of Major. They end up getting surrounded there and taken up. But these guys dead even in the trades of these SCVs, 32 to 29. Kelazhur, though, only has 4. Major maintaining the 22 advantage.
Yeah, Kelazhur in shambles. GG's out, and Major takes the 3rd game in a row. Am I right or am I right, Tenshi?
One game away from that drink. Come on, Kelazhur, you can turn it back.
And remember about the command center. I told you.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's the command center curse, man. It's
it is.
or it's not even a curse. I guess it's a blessing. Nonetheless,
statistics work.
Statistics, they are truly the most powerful tool in the world. Nonetheless, very clean game to begin with. In the opening stages, Major just dealing with everything, but then committing fully and sort of had a fairly weird situation. You know, both of these guys doing a lot of heavy economical damage to each other, but Major just having way too much, and he continuously produced SCVs behind this as well, while Kelazhur was actually committing all of his resources into making units trying to defend.
Yeah, I have to say, when I went into this series, I was expecting a bit of a tedious, drawn-out TVT, you know, going to that 20-30 minutes mark. We saw Major, you and I cast him a bit in the KFC, for instance, Kung Fu Cup, that is. We didn't sit down at a KFC shop and try to cast. It would be very awkward. But we cast him in Kung Fu Cup, and to be honest, he went into TVTs, did amazingly for himself, even qualified, but they took time.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like, I think that we spent many more hours than we first anticipated with those.
Yeah, but like Major had this kind of way, or this approach rather, that he was in the lead by so far that he could just doom drop his opponent, but he wouldn't. You know, he tried a few times, but he always like played it pretty safely. He would set up his concaves. He would try to kind of choke out his opponent in terms of economy. I mean, it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, most definitely. I think though that oh no, I don't even know anymore. I'm so distraught over the fact that Kelazhur right now looking on the verge of breakdown. He just hasn't really been able to find a way here. It's either that, like, either he gets harassed to death, or he dies with a frontal assault. It's just... Well, no, actually, I'm going to turn that around a little bit. The big issues that we see Kelazhur sort of suffering from is the fact that he seems to be struggling with holding the big frontal assault of his opponent, but he does a really good job with harassing. But I think he just ends up committing and investing a bit too much, ends up losing too many units here and there. When it all comes together, we have this saying in Swedish, "Många bäckar små," which roughly translates if you have like many small streams and they come together to form a big pond, it all sort of snowballs out of there. So I mean, he loses a unit here, unit there, and it all comes together, and that's suddenly 50 marines and 3 siege tanks gone and a couple of medevacs. It's just hard to make that recovery. But will he be able to turn things around? That is the question.
It most certainly is. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have come into our perhaps final game of this series. It is going to be on an Inferno Pools. And our first player in the bottom right-hand side, playing for no one right now, looking to be picked up perhaps as the Red Terran. 3-1 right now. It is Major.
And his opponent here in the bottom left, spawning adjacent to his opponent on the other side. It is going to be none other than Kelazhur playing for Root. Can he turn things around? It's looking very hard right now. But I mean, he played an excellent game 1, so if he can sort of go to the back of his mind and pull out those powers, and maybe we'll see that turnaround. But otherwise, I'm going to be buying Alex a beer this weekend.
No, you promised me a Coke. I don't want any beer.
Okay.
I'll be working this weekend.
You're a kid, so I'll buy you a Coke.
I am not a kid anymore, but I'm still... Okay, I'm the kind of person who... like, I went with my girlfriend to this this diner. And it's like really fancy food, you know, it cost me probably...
I wouldn't call a diner fancy. I would say if it's fancy, it's a restaurant.
It's not... Oh, sorry, it is actually... Yeah, it's called a diner, like in Swedish, so it's like the literal translation would be probably a diner. But it's like really...
Luxurious?
Yeah, it is a restaurant. It is a restaurant. Now, it did cost me way too much, but that's another story. Now,
maybe you should win a CopaAmerica so you can start taking out your girlfriend more often.
Oh, if I just started practicing StarCraft 9 hours a day, maybe that would be a possibility in 5 years. But, yeah, so we went there, and the thing is, like, it's, you know, great food. We ate some amazing meat. It was just fantastic overall. But both me and her, like, we're the kind of people who would order a Coke with lemon. Like, that's what we drink.
I mean, each man to his own, you know, like...
Yeah, I mean,
I can appreciate that.
Like, I can appreciate a beer, yeah, sure, but, you know, sometimes you just need a bit of the good stuff, you know, a bit of Coke, you know, you want to feel like...
What? No, it's the other way around. A bit of good, a bit of the good stuff is a good pint, you know?
No.
That's what's the good stuff. I think you're completely mixing these things up. and that's just a really blatant sign that you're actually a little child, Alex.
I am a child.
You're a man-child.
I am a child inside. Now, here's the thing, though.
Would you rather have a popsicle of having, like, a good, like, smoky sausage with your beer? Like a popsicle with your Coke?
No, that's way too much sugar. That's not good for you. Now, here's the thing, anyhow. You know, although sugar would be amazing, I actually have some chocolate here with me if I am about to nod off almost.
Too much sugar has a bar of chocolate.
Huh? No, exactly. It's like, it's too much sugar
the irony of that.
And I need a Diet Coke with it.
Yeah, and nonetheless, these Reapers are going to collide with each other. Kelazhur is going to dot up here, and if he suffers that first shot from it, well, they're kind of going to miss each other, and Kelazhur ends up getting the first shot. So even... Oh, the Hellion, though!
Oh! Just 2 health away! Kelazhur's getting away, but no! 4 wheels are quicker than a jetpack. Now we know, ladies and gentlemen.
How does that even make sense? Like, does this Hellion have 4-wheel drive?
Yes, of course.
Well,
otherwise he'd be slipping around on
that actually makes sense. That actually makes sense. I mean, with those sharp corners that they can turn. This is going to be fairly annoying here for Kelazhur, though, because I mean, getting this command center, even though it was a bit earlier, might actually just backfire.
Wait. Is he going to have to cancel? He
Oh
has
no.
nothing on the way.
Oh no. Is this... He has 2 Marines, that's what he has. He has 2 more on the way and a Hellion.
He's going to pull us.
Oh yeah, he has to. And even then it's going to be a hard fight. Yeah, very unfortunate. This is going to be a very hard fight. He's waiting for that 1 Hellion to finish up. He's even bringing a couple more of the boys. And here we go, down the ramp. Let's be so careful.
Almost the first good volley, but good spray for Kelazhur. He actually sends 1 SCV right away to finish that command center. He needs this to finish up. Yes. Now Major looking to get those snipes though. Gets the first Hellion.
Oh, nice focus there. Gets the Reaper. Gets the second Hellion here. So suddenly the firepower is significantly being reduced right now. So Kelazhur making an excellent hold here. And these Hellions... Yeah, but I mean, these 2 Hellions, way too weak to commit up yet again. So he's going to have the quicker command center. Lost a couple of the SCVs for that, but still, fairly good hold.
Yeah, it was a bit risky. Kelazhur, of course, wanted to close out the game by getting the early command center right away. A bit risky, though.
Looking to turn things around by going CC first.
Yes. No, a bit risky this time, but he did manage to pull it off by that SCV pull. Now he, as well as Major, will kind of posture on top of the ramps to make sure nothing gets through. And to be honest, no one goes into Banshee this game. This is the first game we see no Banshees yet.
Major is going to switch over these add-ons though.
No,
and the scan goes down. Yeah, so he knows there's going to be Banshees.
Oh no.
And there we see that cloak started on that tech lab. And well, so does Kelazhur. Yet again, the Hellion's trying to go for a swing up his ramp. Viking does land. He's going to intercept a little bit. And he will actually end up losing 2 Hellions there. Not even killing a single Marine. So, once again, sort of just good deflection there from Kelazhur. Sort of keeping himself very stable in this perhaps lost map.
Yeah, so interesting by Major that he just starts to swap, sees the scan and decides to continue. So we're now going to see him go for that cloak and Banshees, which kind of have to deal damage. Now here's the thing though, second factor, we're going to see a bit of mech coming up from Major.
Ooh. First
time this game, and Kelazhur, well, he's just going to bio as every single game before.
Okay, so before you can buy or rather mech sort of suffers a little bit in the straight up fight department before you can start growing that tank out. But maybe this we'll see though. He needs to not take damage from this big assault with these Hellions. He's gonna get an SCV or 2. Did go for a pull there and ended up losing a single Hellion to that mine. The Viking though helping out quite a lot here, tanking a lot of that damage, but these Marines are very stacked up.
They are lined up even, and that's even worse at this point. But as I say, the Vikings is adding so much firepower, and Major won't break through that. Now here's the thing though, you as you say, you know, the mech style is very slow at this kind of play.
Yeah, but look at this, the Banshee. The Banshee is here. Scan goes down. Will the Banshee's even going to make it out? He's not killed too much. Okay, so could have been a lot worse for Kelazhur, but nonetheless, it's just.
Oh, has to watch out. But yeah, as I was saying though, like the thing is, well, you see how we see triple Hellion right now? This was what I was about to say. Even with Blue Flame, this is a 4GD kind of style almost, where you go for like really heavy Hellion play with Blue Flame. It really catches your opponent off guard, and this is actually what we saw in that series with Sealer and Smile, where I think it was Smile who took a game really, really quickly after shutting down the initial Banshee pressure by going for this, and it often catches opponents really off guard. Now the Widowmine will help a ton, the Bunker will help a ton, but it's still going to be a massive amount of Hellions and a very mobile kind of mech composition.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Kelazhur, Widowmine of the Bunker at the front, is going to have somewhat of a strong point, but the Hellions, with that mobility and speed, can make it right up this ramp into the main, and that's when things get really hairy here for our Blue Terran. So as long as he can sort of keep tabs on his opponent, like, and not get caught off guard, then maybe he can start setting up, because I mean he sees a massive amount of Hellions, so maybe he'll be able to identify what sort of build we see Major going for here. Blue Flame is nearing completion, and Major has a third command center behind of this, so even though this attack doesn't do massive amounts of damage, he will have a fairly good economical transition behind of this, so he's not going to be completely all in.
So, Major doing this, I mean, he doesn't even need to attack straight away as this kind of Blue Flame finishes up, but you want to be mobile enough to make sure that you're going to get a huge advantage. Now, if your opponent, for instance, doesn't have a Widowmine in the front and a few bunkers or one even, and you feel that maybe he has a few too many marauders, or maybe he has a perfect spread, or he knows what's going on, well, taking a third is going to be a piece of cake.
Yeah, scan does go down here to reveal that Major is actually, in
oh
fact,
my god,
floating off his CC. Still, the heli numbers are very heavy. A lot of Vikings here as well to maintain that air control.
Kelazhur salvaged the bunker, and now Major goes for it.
Okay, this is a mistake. You don't want to be doing this. He doesn't even have combat shield. If he gets caught out here, all of these units are lined up, and the blue flame completely annihilating the first front line of those Marines. Oh, Kelazhur. Oh, he sees the blue flame, and he's going to go for a frontal assault. He's going to try to break down Major here, because he knows there's not too much firepower excluding these Hellions. These are literally it. These are his trump card. If these go down, that's not going to be it, but these Vikings, just so heavy a number here for Major, and if he lands them, he's going to have even more firepower on the ground, and the Banshee as well doing some extra damage, dropping one of these turrets as well. Even tanks helping out, tanking so much, and this is just looking so brutal. Oh, a lot
even use the PDD there. I mean, this is great for Major, and as I said, you know, those Marauders are just so strong against Hellion. There's not as much Hellbats, but still, they are very good against this composition, but there's just not enough of them for Kelazhur.
Oh, it's now looking really rough here for a Root player. He's down by one base. He's going to be he's down in workers by roughly 15, down in army supply as well. So Major just continuously emphasizing the advantage that he has in going straight into that mech. Has 3 factories for now, single armory as well with that +1 vehicle weapons just finishing up as well. So just excellent position right now, and even Major trying to go for a blue flame Hellbat drop here in the main. So far not killing too much, but is further slowing down his opponent.
Yeah, it's a smart choice as well. Like, you know, in hindsight, yeah, sure, it's not great losing a medevac and 2 Hellbats for nothing, but then again, it's not the biggest loss either, and it could have done a lot more damage, because if it goes in and your opponent just looks away for a second, that's going to kill like a good 10 workers or so at least. You might even get away with kill even more so if you miss micros and pull everything together.
Oh yeah, I mean there are a lot of variables, and especially with the fact that, well, this, for Kelazhur at least, is going to be the final map if he drops this one. So nerves can definitely come into play. He's even going to find this drop as well, sees these 2 medevacs full of units. And he's actually going to go yet again for another Hellion drop, or Hellbat drop, which pushes this drop all the way back home, giving Major even more time to set up comfortably here.
Yeah, this game actually could be $200 and 3 CopaAmerica points right away, depending on who wins it. Now, Major is going to lose that medevac, but we're going to see the Hellions get away at least. Now, Kelazhur, being a bit sneaky on the map once again, he gets out here and going to try to attack the 3rd base, but there are too many siege tanks for these Marauders.
Yeah, no way he's going to be able to break this down. Even a bunch of Hellbats here to buffer for that. Has 2 sensor towers, 3 sensor towers set up. So, I mean, no way that there's going to be an angle where Major is not in position and ready. One of the medevacs do fall, and he's going to be forcing a stim away from there. But now, look at this. Major actually going to be committing in. He's used that medevac boost. Wants to get on top of this fire with a blue flame. First initial wave there does do a little bit of damage, but still, Kelazhur getting away with most of this. And now the kiting is going to stop, but the medevacs need to be very careful versus these Vikings.
So Major getting really aggressive, but then again, these Hellbats can't reach the bio effectively.
So bad at chasing.
Oh, they really are, and the bio will get away. Now, here's the thing though, Kelazhur's getting up his 3rd base, and there's really nothing for Major to threaten it yet, but Major is kind of posturing here as he's getting his 4th behind it, so looks like he wants to go for contain at least, maybe even start to chip away a bit at the army of Kelazhur.
Yeah, both of these guys dancing in the center of the map might be able to catch a couple of these air units. Another big stim does go down here. Not going to be able to find any target of opportunity, so that's just going to be hurting his army. Needs to be so careful versus these Vikings. Major doing an excellent job here, maintaining that air control, and he's reached that max. +2 vehicle weapons is done. So now, this is when Major wants to be going, and already a couple of trades, Vikings fighting Vikings, and that medman gets one shot. Kelazhur cannot hold down the front, so he's going to try to go for a counterattack here with these handful of bio, but I don't know. It just doesn't look as if he's going to be very long-lived here in this game.
I have to agree right now, and the thing is, Major even has some defense at home for this 3rd base as he's pushing up right now. going to kill this third base off. Not even a way to lift it up because of all the Vikings. And remember, the Major is 50 supply ahead as he's playing mech. Against someone who's going bio, he's just so far ahead in terms of army, in terms of economy. And we see Kelazhur is kind of going for semi-base race. Didn't even touch that third base.
Oh, this is going to be brutal. He's going to try to go for a load up here with these medevacs, right? But there are already a bunch of turrets in position. And
Oh no!
How do you?
Oh no! The missiles!
So these medevacs will actually be able to unload most of their cargo, but still a lot of Hellbats and lots of tanks here on the defense. SCV's being pulled off the line, but the frontal assault here from Major towards Kelazhur's natural is just going to be way too much. All of these siege tanks, no way that he can break this down. So his best option is going to be a base trade, but I don't think he's going to be able to. And that's going to be it. That's going to be GG. Major taking this 4-1. And that means he's won the Copa America finals and secured himself that prize money and the Copa America points, as well as qualifying into Premier League together with the runner-up.
Kelazhur, in that case.
Yes, for anyone who missed that.
And you owe me a drink. Yes! It is true!
Oh no, I'm so...
life is good, you know. Life is good! Now, here's the problem though. I said that Major will win 4-1, but then again, the one who goes for the early command center wins the game. Now, here's the problem. Kelazhur went for the earlier command center, but Major has to win 4-1, so which prediction is going to be right? So it was a bit difficult here, you know. I can't always be correct when I'm going to be double correct, but they go and like they kind of collide. No, you can't technically be right in both ways, I guess. But you know what? Great series. Looking forward to that drink in the weekend. Thank you very much, Lucas.
Yeah, I hope you will. Even though I'm a little sad with the result, very well played there from Major, playing an excellent TVT. So congratulations to him winning the Copa America finals here. Well, of course, guys, that was our first series. We have that bronze match coming right up. It is going to be Cham versus Cats in a Zerg versus Zerg. So still, make sure to go onto Twitter, hashtag that. Who is your favorite player in Latin America? Or rather, who is your favorite Zerg? It's going to be a best of 5. Let's see here. Well, so...
Cham versus Cats?
Yes, Cham versus Cats. That's our next series. However, though, guys, I hope you enjoyed those TVTs. We will be returning here shortly with the Copa America, with a Zerg versus Zerg, Cats versus Cham in a best of 5 for that bronze medal. Do not go anywhere. Okay guys, welcome back here to the Copa America. As you can see, I am here in Cruxel Studios in Stockholm, Sweden, and I have my friend and co-caster with me on the other side of the country, but nonetheless you are here, and you're going to be joining us for this bronze match between two Zergs.
Yes, I guess I am, and well, for this time I'm not going to be in the studio, unfortunately, as you might have heard before.
You might have noticed.
You might have noticed I am missing the most part of my upper body and my lower body, which is kind of unfortunate. Yeah, it's gone.
Are you okay, buddy?
I'm taking magic courses, so I'm starting to disappear, but I haven't worked the upper body really through. But I'm learning, I'm learning. It's progress.
Like
now,
everything else.
To be honest, though, I don't think I'm really in the other side of the country from you. I'm like 1.5 hour by car.
Is it? Is it that close?
Yeah, it's 1.5 hours. Like,
okay, so
like we're both on the southeast coast.
So you're pretty much you are 1/8 of the country away from me.
1/12.
Really? Oh well.
Yeah.
Well then, that's geography out the window.
Yeah, I mean, and the cry is like 7 hours up to the to the skiing.
Oh yeah, up north.
Yeah, that's not even that far up north. It's
Fair
like,
enough.
yeah, it's like a third up north or something. Yeah, but I'm not sure how your geography is working.
Let's not go into geography because I think we both suck at it.
Pretty true, actually.
But we have a ZVZ on our hands, and well, 2 players, of course. So there we have our first participant. It is going to be Cats from Root Gaming, and we already touched a little bit upon this guy and how he likes to play things. But of course, give people a rundown here to those who have just now tuned in.
About Cats' run. So Cats, of course, probably you should know about this guy. Otherwise, you've been missing out quite a bit. But this guy has done tons and seen very cool builds. He's taught just about any pro gamer how to do really creative builds. Now, we saw this guy play it out against Kelazhur, who we just saw was beaten by Major 1-4. Cats went down 0-3 once again, and just like the previous Copa, but of course that is to teammates. His ZVZ, though, is looking much stronger, and that is the matchup we're going to look at now. We did see him go against Reason, who beat 3-2, and Odin, who beat 3-1. So he did pretty well in his ZVZ, but then again, he hasn't faced the best of the best.
I mean, I think in this Zerg versus Zerg, let's see, let's swing things up here. Our other player, there he is, Cham. So this guy, what do you think? What are your thoughts, man?
I think we have much less info about this guy, so it's going to be a bit more difficult. But, well, I think, to be honest, this guy is either going to be a bit underwhelming because he came from the complete other side of the bracket.
That's true.
He didn't play in the same group as Cats. He played in the complete other side of the bracket. He didn't face Cats at any point, but he did beat Reason as well, I believe. Let's check here. So we saw Reason play against. Did he face Cham at any point? Yes, he did. So 2-1 for Cham, and then Cats beat Reason 3-2. So both played really close to this one guy.
Yeah, but remember the Cat series. Sorry for interrupting you there for a second, but the Cats Reason series was just super close. So do you think this one might go in the same direction? I mean, it is a best of 7.
So the thing here is that it's going to be a very hard call because either player could just play really solid games, and that play probably will win because, as we saw from Cats, he really likes these aggressive kind of all over the place builds like +1 carapers, like really heavy speed pressure, which are great, but are very fragile.
I mean, there's like in ZVZ, sort of. Reminds us of turn versus turn as well. Like, if you misstep, then suddenly your really cool build can completely backfire because you take that one bailing hit or get a really bad angle with your roaches. So, very explosive kind of matchup. There's a lot of room for... there's not a lot of room for error in Zerg versus Zerg.
No. So the thing is with the ZVZ is that you have a bit of error, like, a bit of supply block works, a bit of losing a few links works, but as soon as you mess something up strategically, that can really spell disaster. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to jump into our first map, and this best out of 7 between these two Zergs. let's jump into it.
Yes, so our first player here up in the bottom, or rather top left. It is going to be our red Zerg playing for Brawl Esports. It is Cham.
And his opponent.
Oh, go ahead.
You got it.
No, go ahead.
You got it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I got it.
Yeah,
Yes.
you got it. You got this.
The plan worked. So his opponent in the bottom right-hand corner playing for Root Gaming. It is none other than Cats.
So, Cats actually played a lot of 9 pools and other early pool timings in ZVZ throughout Copa. And I was kind of thinking, in this very first map, he goes in with a bang, goes for a 9 pool, but no. I'm a little bit sad that none of these guys playing super cheesy. Cheesy is really fun.
Yeah, I like it. It gives a lot of dynamic in the ZVZ matchup. To be honest, I'm a big fan of early cheese. I am. I think in any matchup...
I think you know what? I can tell from playing games versus you.
Well, to be honest, you're always the one who cheeses, so I'm not really sure if I'm a big fan of it. Now, here's the thing. Cats goes for the hatch first. We see Cham going a bit safe here. He knows it's Cats, so anything could happen, which is both good and bad.
It's, but I mean, I think it's reasonable. Can sort of get behind that thought, because, like you say, Cats, super crazy.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it. As a play, at least. Now, here's the thing, though. We see Cat still playing it safe. Goes for that pool. No gas yet from either player, really. So, both being pretty defensive here. Not wanting to get any early lead. And now we see the first gas going down here for Cat. So, very standard opening. There's no one really wants to take a big early game advantage, really.
No risk taking here in map number 1. I guess we'll just sort of come to a slow start.
Yeah, we're going to see. So, Cham needs to take a gas before like 340 or so. Like, if he doesn't take one,
is he just gonna like play gasless then?
Yeah, just about. Like, you can delay it, sure, but you don't delay much more than that. So, it more and more is looking towards him just going gasless right here.
Yeah, I mean, we just passed that 340 mark that you mentioned. So okay, if Cham is going gasless here, right, Alex? So what sort of transitions can we see here from him? I mean, if we look at the way Cats is doing things, because he is going for gas, of course. Cham isn't. How do these two things work?
Well, Cats is going for the Carapace build.
Oh,
and,
well done.
We actually saw once the melee upgrade being used, which was very interesting. But he most likely is going to be the Carapace build, which against this doesn't work all too well. But on this map, it might actually work better than on something like Growth because of how that, how you need to spread your creep and wall off the ramp that is.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that as well. Cham, as he's playing gasless, isn't it like super important to make sure that you have those evolution chambers and that roach horn at the front? Like, get that wall off and maybe even add in a third or fourth queen for those transfusions.
Oh, it really is. You usually want to be on 4 queens. Now, here's the thing, though. Cham comes in, scouts this Evo chamber, knows something's in the making. Now, this is +1 melee, and this is something you only get if the opponent either gets Carapace or your opponent is going to go roaches, and you want to kind of just outling your opponent's roaches.
Oh, well, I mean, Cham goes for that double gas. Took them around 510, 515. Which
Good timing.
Yeah, I mean, it's fairly standard, you know, from coming out from a gasless. It's gonna go up to gas number 3, so I guess we'll just see a roach playing. Well, like you said, that +1 for those Zerglings sort of meant to deal with this, but we'll have to see, of course. I guess it comes down a lot to that positioning as well.
Yeah, it really does. Now, the thing is, Cat being scouted is now just going to get a lot of drones, and he did see the kind of wall off here. He never really scouted the gases, so he doesn't know for sure that this is going to be gasless, but he could probably have a hunch of it. So he's going to grab his own third, and he knows he has control of this map, as he now has the melee here coming out soon.
Speed as well, you know, almost done here in about 20 seconds. We'll see that finish up.
Now, this is a cool detail from Cham. Instead of getting +1 for his roaches, he straight away goes to that +1 in Carapace to kind of nullify the the attack upgrade of the Cat ASAP.
Do you think he realized that this was actually going to be melee upgrades with this evolution chamber, and that's why we see him doing this, or is this just like a blind thing that he's doing to make sure that he's not going to be hit by any super offensive timings?
So the thing is, if your opponent's going gasless, it does make sense to go for melee because the Carapace won't really help against anything because there are no baiting sounds, you won't have any links out either, so melee is absolutely makes sense there. So to get Carapace to counter it, yeah, makes sense.
That's a nice sort of little identification move here from Cham. He has his first handful of roaches out. He's adding in a couple more here. Glider Reconstitution also on the way. I want to point out here, by the way, Cats has not got a lay yet, and he's already going for a pretty good wraparound on a couple of these roaches. Remember, no +1, so he's not going to be able to two-shot the Lings, but he's doing a fairly good job. Pulling back right now, but more Zerglings are coming to reinforce.
And you can see how quick these Zerglings now take down the roaches. That +1 just helps so much against roaches. And although that's a lot of Lings going down, the amount of roaches going down kind of does justify it. In killing off a queen there, it's a pretty good pick-off. But the third stays, which is very important now.
3 roaches for 24 Lings. And a queen.
3 roaches and a queen. Well, it is still pretty decent. Now, here's the thing. +1 hasn't even started for Cham, which is a big mistake in my opinion. As Cats right now is getting that +1 for his own roaches, which is going to be quicker, and the layers on the way. So speed a bit slower, but +1 a bit quicker. And he has that economy much earlier right now for 10 workers.
Yeah, I have to agree with you that I don't like the fact that Cham, he's got these double evolution chambers, but he's actually not utilizing them to their full value.
He's just going for it, I think, right now. He just now starts +1, so really late. He's just made roaches. This is a pretty big push.
Yeah, well, he's going to be fighting up with this Carapace upgrade, so I think that's what he's trying to rely upon, right?
Yeah.
He's got does have those roach numbers.
27 to 9.
Needs to be a little careful here, though. Cats right now, sort of indecisive what he wants to do. Trying to block, it seems, with these roaches as they come to reinforce. More Zerglings with that +1 upgrade from the right-hand side, from that third base. Will it be enough, though? I don't know. These things actually doing a lot of damage, though.
They are, but that Carapace right now kind of helping the roaches off Cham. Would like to see that +1 much earlier, but this push might start to deal even more damage. The drones are pulled off the line. 2 have gone down so far, and well, these roaches are being deterred, but the damage done is pretty significant.
Yeah, this is not a good sign, pulling those drones off that mining, and he's going to be darting back. Retreating with the drones yet again, but still the roach numbers here for Cham. Not, is he going to be able to push on through? He's not really reinforcing right now. He's making more roaches, but they're not coming across the map. Cats might be able to stabilize for a little bit, but the follow-up attack here, I mean, Cham up now by 12 workers.
Yeah, he just drove really heavily behind this, and while Cats did lose a lot of workers in that engagement, I'm a bit surprised that Cham doesn't focus down the queen. When it comes to Overseer, could even put some goo onto that hatchery if he wants to.
He's going to contaminate.
Yes. That is the official word for it.
The official name.
Yeah, I like gooing more.
World of goo.
Yes.
Cats now going to break down these rocks. Starting to grow a little bit in these roach numbers, but I mean, as we can see, we have Cham 62 drones, 10 up right now. In terms of upgrades, he's even going to have this +2 Carapace as well. It's not as powerful as having +2, but still, he's going to be able to attack once again with an advantage, because I mean, he's got that +1 range, and he's going to have the Carapace upgrade as well to go with this, so he's going to be in pretty good shape as these guys start trading.
So the thing is here right now, that Cat's been behind the economy and needs to catch up in drones, but he can't just do that because he doesn't really have the gases in his third, and we already Cham setting that up, so he's starting to get ready for the transition. Now, I'm still really surprised with Cham choosing to go for Carapace over melee. Oh, sorry, missiles, which is really weird. But except for that, like, Cham is in a really good position. Cat's cutting a few corners, getting infestation pit without really catching up to his opponents.
No, this is a scary portion of the game right now for Cats, because I mean, so many roaches on the map right now for Cham, and +2 Carapace is done, Alex, remember that. They are even in offensive upgrades, but Cham has the 2 armored upgrade advantage. And he's going to push on forward here. More roaches in numbers actually here for a red Zug. He's now reinforcing across the map and taking a pretty good fight. All of these roaches are firing, and I think Cats is just going to get demolished.
I think that as well right now. Cham just tumbling through, and Cats trying to hold on, but the queen is falling, the roaches are falling, and well, in the end, the gasless roach often managed to hold the third base. Cham just had a bit of a lead, just bringing this game more and more in his favor.
Quick closeout there. So Cat's plan kind of actually backfiring, I guess. I mean, he initially utilized that +1 fairly well, but still couldn't really deal with that counterattack in the fashion that he wanted to. Just taking too much damage and trading fairly inefficiently when Cham was on his side of the map.
I tend to agree, and the thing is, when it comes to that third base as well, you really, when you play Ling against roaches, want to cancel or kill that third base. It's so important. You saw Cats try to get into the natural main base, the first thing he did, and if he got in, he could have dealt damage, could have kept his opponent back, seen what was going on. I mean, roaches were made. But a few things here in the play of Cats that kind of underwhelming. The fact that he didn't get any pressure toward the third base, so he kind of didn't make enough Lings to really deal damage, but he still made enough that he kind of had to do something. And then again, not using his overseas as he should, didn't contaminate that much. He didn't scout that much to see how many drones were made, how many roaches were made, no spine crawlers, and even getting way too much gas, as he was forced to kind of make Lings instead of roaches for some time.
Those Zerglings kind of, like you said, he made the amount that he was actually, or rather that it ended up committing significant amounts of lava, which really could have been drones at that point. And not, like you said, not achieving the goal of killing the third base. Actually more putting himself behind after that engagement went down, and then well guys, things kind of just didn't go his way. Cham continuously, like you said, going for carapace. I would have really liked perhaps go for that +1 carapace, but add in the 2 attack instead, because he did have the time to go for +1 missiles, and we usually see the gasless player, please correct me if I'm mistaken here, have when he wants to be taking the decisive roach battle, he has like 2-1 upgrades versus the +2 or versus the +1 of his opponent.
Yeah, to be honest, when you go gasless, it's not uncommon to even have 2-2 when your opponent has +2. So
that's like when carapace matters, when you're at equal offensive upgrades. But
yeah, especially in higher roach numbers, because that's when it really matters, especially if you're 2 up against 0. And the I would say the point when they matter the most in the entire Zerg vs Zerg matchup would be, if it just comes to roaches, would be Roach versus Banes. Because if someone goes Roach Bane to kind of crush through you, if you have 2 Carapace, it just helps you so much against that AoE damage.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Didn't see that now, but might see that now in these upcoming games. Nonetheless, Cham takes that first map, and it's going to bring us into map number 2, which is going to be Varni Research Station.
Varni. Well, it's one of these maps that, because how you send your Overlord, you can rush, but it's going to be scouted if it's anything later than like a
6 or 7. 6
temple.
Oh, okay.
Because like if you go 14, you're going to see it in time to kind of understand what's going on, and you can still kind of hold it without having too much of an issue.
Do you like, well, yeah, I guess you stand 2 queens on the ramp, get a spine at the very edge of the creep.
Yeah.
Kind of thing going. So, well, we are now, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, in the second map. We are loaded in. And here we have our first player in the south. It is going to be Brawl Esports Cham.
And his opponent in the 12 position playing for Root. It is none other than Cats. Down 1 game in this best of 7.
Cham proving his worth already. Can he ride the initiative winning game number 1? I mean, you and I keep talking about this so much, like how important it is to win the first game. But I mean, I just can't stress enough how big of a thing it truly is. And then it's even bigger if your opponent takes the first 2, but then you take map number 3 to sort of, knock them out of balance.
Yeah, I feel like if you manage to take the first games like really quickly, even though you might be the kind of, quote unquote worst player, you still have a really good initiative coming into the game. Now Cham goes for 10-10. Now usually this is just for the other one, of course, is just for extract cast, so don't mind that. So this is usually just for Ling Bane all in. Now what you do, because we've seen the speed version of this, which I really hate, but it should be the Bane version. And what you do with that is that you get some links out. It looks like a 9 pull, for instance, but then you hide the links so that Overlord doesn't see them. You get Bane links, and then you try to hit big connections to either the links of your opponent or the drone line.
I think Cats, he went for the pool first, right? So at least he's not going to be in that situation if he... Imagine if he goes like hatch, gas, then pool. In a sense, I guess that's sort of just like auto loss in terms of build order. Gets really hard to hold.
Cham wants to go for the speed version without baning follow-up.
Oh.
And that means they... Well, I'm not a big fan of it. Now even cancelled.
Isn't this going to give more time for Cats to react? Because, I mean, Lings versus Lings is sort of a thing, right? But if you can start controlling that ramp with 2 queens, then suddenly these speedlings are going to be pretty much useless. But if you have those banelings, you get that extra punch of firepower, which means that he can't, for instance, try to buy time with lings of his own on the ramp, because it just, of course, gets impossible versus those banelings, one-shotting the opponent's zerglings. So I'm going to get behind you on this one, Alex. I'm going to say that I would have really preferred to see banelingless, but here we go. The first 6 lings are in action, and already Cats with the first pair of his own out already.
Yeah, soon enough, Cats is going to have 6 lings, so it's up to these first few zerglings to kind of put pressure on the hatchery, but the thing is, when you face hatch first, this is a great build because you can shut down the hatch, or you can even just attack into the drone line. You can do some serious damage, but I mean, when you face a pool first doing this build, it's just so underwhelming. Now, we're going to see Cham constantly make speed links, and it's up to Cats. It's Cats' game to lose at this point, you could say. Okay, so he's just so like, we're just going to see Cham, I guess, like you say, churn out these speedlings, try to get a sort of decisive advantage by perhaps killing a lot of drones, picking off the queens, getting the hatchery, and then from there trying a transition. But otherwise, I mean, until he manages to actually make something important happen, he's constantly just going to make these speedlings. Yeah, so the thing is, Cat right now is droning because he doesn't know what's going on. He sent his Overlord to the left-hand side, which is a big mistake because sure, he's looking for that third
base. He didn't see those. He's actually not seen the reinforcing lings, and here we go. Heavy ling advantage in favor of Cham. Is he going to take a quick 2-0 advantage in this series, Alex?
Well, he could. He's right to try for the wraparound, and it's all about fighting with the drones here. Cat is not pulling them, though, and that is way too late. Losing most of his links already. And, well, the links are right on top of Cat, losing every single drone. That queen, although it's being between the minerals, won't help her this time.
Oh, no. 10 drones already have gone down, and he's only down to 8 drones in total. More links in production here for Cat. He's going to try to hold on, but, well, it's not going to be enough as more links rally across the map here for Cham. 29 to 40 supply, and that's going to be all she wrote here in map number 2. A really quick 2-0 lead to Cham.
Yeah, good game from Cats, and Cham takes the second game convincingly 6 minutes and 20 seconds into it. Wow, that was a pretty quick game, and I have to say, the speed version, I'm not a big fan of it, but a lot of that victory comes down to Cats not realizing what it was really up against. Having 2 hatcheries, you add 1 spine in each, should be pretty okay. You just start constantly make links for each ling you see past the Overlord, then you're fine. You send 1 to the natural to see if he's expanding, you send 1 outside his main base in this case to see if he's still sending links. That's the easiest way, and it's pretty much waterproof. The only way you can kind of lose with that is either by gravely miscontrolling or by basically getting tricked that your opponent kind of is gathering up a lot of links. So I feel the way we saw the game right now is kind of up to Cat to just put the Overlords in the right position and just respond better almost.
I think, I mean, you've pretty much covered all of my thoughts, or most of my thoughts on that game. Because the fact that he didn't see more Zerglings, like, he saw the Zerglings reinforcing, or like additional ones, right outside his ramp. And that's just way too late. You have no time to get those queens in position, no time to start a spine crawler, and it was just Cat's really not responding correctly to what was going on, and of course that goes hand in hand with the fact that he had the mistake of not maintaining vision on those key locations to see more Zerglings streaming across the map there. So, well, Cat's mistakes gives Cham this second map advantage, which means that he's up 2-0 in this best of 7. 2 games away from potential victory. Unless Cats can turn things around.
Oh yeah, Cats could just go for 4-2 still. Now the thing is, Cham got the first game off of Cats not being able to put on the pressure. Second game was Cats not being able to read correctly. I feel that Cham is playing as he should. It's very standard, it's very straightforward, nothing fancy. I was a bit underwhelmed and surprised when he went for the Carapace for his roaches, which never really helped him too much. But except for that, everything has been really, really standard and straightforward, kind of textbook play from Cham. It's more like Cat is trying these fancy things or just making mistakes. It's not working for him right now. We need to see a change when it comes to that.
But what is he going to do? Our third map here is going to be Coda, LE, another 2-player map. Perhaps is this where Cats busts out the 9 pool?
He could. But the thing is, that is a very special map. It's a 2-player map, pretty close to each other. It's a bit further than Overgrowth or like Coda Echo, but it's still really close.
But, I guess the big thing on Bunny is the fact that you have that natural sort of tucked away.
No, the big thing is because of how the mains are positioned, you can't send an Overlord to see the natural incoming links and the main with the same first Overlord. You can only choose to see the main, incoming links, or the natural.
Oh, it's like, so you have to like make a decision on what do I want to be looking for.
You have to choose one between the 3 instead of all 3 at the same time.
So that's okay, so that's a pretty big point there, especially in Zerg vs Zerg. That being said, guys, we're going to be jumping in here, map number 3, and we are here on Coda. Our first player in the bottom right, playing for Brawl Esports, is up by 2 maps. It's going to be Cham.
And his opponent in the top left-hand side right now, he's on the ropes. It is none other than the team manager of Cats. Of Root, it is Cats.
He's the team manager of Cats. He's the root of the Cats.
I like Cats. Of the Cats.
He is... that got so confusing so quickly.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's only like 4 a.m.
Yeah, I think it is right. Oh my god, it's 4:30.
It's 4:30.
I'm not gonna get any sleep before the train.
It's okay. No, you're not. I think you're actually not gonna get any sleep before the train. So, anyway, so far this initial best of 7 has sort of had a fairly quick game number 2 and game number 3. Not really going to those late game stages, 4-5 bases, constantly churning out roaches, starting to add in Hydras, initial infestors. What are we going to be, like you said, Cats on the ropes. He's down by 2 map points. Cham riding the initiative of his advantage already. Going for this 50 pool, while Cats is going for that hand tree first. I feel that Cats should be the one to go for some big aggression plays this time. Sort of, as your opponent is knocking on your front door, you suddenly bust that door open and knock him over,
Yeah, I kind of agree. Now, here's the thing though. Cham is very clever. He went for really early pool here. I think that was even a 14 pool if I'm correct. Now, he went for really early pool into the hatchery. He was counting on Cats going for some kind of aggression. And Cats just really cool. Goes for the hatch first, and he doesn't really care. He knows Cham could early pool, but then again, he might not.
Of course, there's sort of like the dilemma of how do I want to be opening in conjunction to what my opponent might be potentially be doing. So, of course, it is a little scary, but I guess we're not going to be seeing anything too big now for the next minute or so, until we see if these guys want to be investing into that speed or not.
Yeah, we're going to see. I think both are looking to get the speed right away. Would be very surprised if they don't. But, well, both are setting up the naturals. We're going to check for 2 things here. First, of course, if they do finish up, or get the speed rather, instead of that Evo chamber. And the second off, of course, is when they start to get that kind of 20-something workers, like 25 or so, do they start to add tons of speedings instead?
Speed started for Cham. Cats instead adding in a couple of drones before he starts speed.
Yeah, what is going on here?
There we go. Okay, there we go. Started that speed. Cham has 2 out of 3 on gas. Cats 3 out of 3. Do you think we'll just go into like bling wars perhaps? Because I mean we haven't seen that so far.
We could. I mean, the thing is here that it's very standard, but we haven't seen it yet in this series, and it would be pretty interesting because both these players are very capable of being aggressive. It looks like. And, well, Bling Wars do tend to get very aggressive. There we go. At the same time.
At the same time. Baneling nests started. Speed is going to be a little quicker for Cham. But I can't imagine really him realizing that he has like the 12-second or 15-second advantage in speed. And that'll like play to that.
No, it doesn't matter way too much. I think I personally think it's a bit of a mistake to do what Cats did and sneak in a few drones, but then again, if you don't get punished, it is technically worth it, so why not?
Yeah, but I mean, like you say, he's relying on not taking any damage, so still, if Cham manages to find a good angle, then suddenly Cats is going to regret making those extra drones. We see that Lair started right away. Gas number 2 taken here as well for a Red Zerg.
It should be mutas, I think.
Yeah, we'll see when he takes gas number 3 and gas number 4. Very sort of defensive setup here from Cham, right?
So something very important to note here is that you notice how both players are supply cap. Now, Cat's a bit more sloppy than Cham, I guess, but Cham lost 2 overlords in a row to Queens, and that means
that's quite bad.
Yeah, the thing is, of course, it was more Cats microing around his Queens, managing to find the scouting overlords on the edges and just managed to get them in time. So it was pretty nice of him to find them, and that kind of did put Cham in an awkward position. Then again, Cats did supply block himself as well, so it's kind of a, both get into a really awkward position, but it's okay. Because it happened to both.
Yeah, so I guess both of them just equalized.
Yeah.
Faster third here, base for Cats. Actually quite significantly faster. He gets the evolution chamber and the roach one, but there we have that spire. So
oh, this is such a bad timing for Cham.
This third base is going to get cancelled because I mean Cat saw this with the Overlord. Is going to even lose that drone, so further going to be slowed down. And to be honest, I don't think Cat is going to take any damage from these Mutalisks because he's already got the map control.
Well, he does for now. He's going to lose it as Xiao now has done banings out, and I think both kind of just have to run back. Now, these mutas can be either going into the kind of Mutalisk style with Mutaling Bling, but more commonly used as just getting like a few mutas, as I talked about before, and going for that very, very strong +1 roach play. Nice micro, by the way, from Cham.
Yeah, pulling away at the very last second. He's actually got a few more links out on the map right now, but yeah, so I want to... I actually prefer from Cham here to see that he perhaps tries to go for the heavier Mutalisks focused style, because I mean he's going to be down in roaches and upgrades quite considerably, and if he tries to go equal like toe to toe versus roaches, I think he's just going to end up dying.
Yeah, well, we do see this kind of 8 Mutalisks being created into Roachborn and an Evo Chamber, so now it's up to Cham to keep Cats back. The thing is, 8 Mutas won't do anything to a mass Roach play, and it's up to Cham just to survive. He can't be on 2 bases, he needs to keep 3, so he can't lose his third, he can't, lose anything in his main unnatural, but, well, Roaches are incoming.
And there's no room for error here for our Red Zerg. He is going to get that third up, and already the Mutalisks starting to do some damage here versus the Roaches, making their way across. But like I said, Alex, this is why I would have wanted him to see commit to more Mutas, because like when you start reaching like the 15-20 mark, that's when it gets a lot harder to make these move outs. But I think that he's actually going to be suffering quite heavy damage here. The +1 is done for these Roaches, so these links are virtually going to be useless.
Yeah, it all kind of comes down to as well that third being cancelled, but to be honest, Cham is going to do a pretty good job. He lost 7 workers, yes, but killed 5 with those banelings going to third base earlier. And, well, he's kind of even in workers, I have to say. The Muta's not being micro, though. What are you doing, Cham?
Roach is heading up into the main, hitting the natural as well. Queen does live. Third base coming under a little bit of fire, but he has to deal with these Roaches in the main. He's going to lose the injecting Queen. And, well, that's going to slow him down considerably. He's even going for the Overseer. This is not what you want to be doing, because he's losing a lot of workers here.
17 have gone down, but Cham just throwing like a madman behind this. Now, the problem is that as these mutants are over here, they're not doing anything in the third base. We're going to see Cat spore up his bases to make sure he doesn't lose anything, really. Not too many spores, though, so he's going to be okay. Big thing here, though. We see an infestation pit here for Cat. Kind of leaning towards, yeah, he's getting pathogen glands, which is really weird because of the fact that he's facing just a handful of mutas.
Is this an overreaction?
I would call it an overreaction, but then again, he keeps on making roaches, so I think he hasn't fallen for it because he did see the roach warren and the Evo chamber.
He tries to go for a swing in into the third again. Cham does find these Banes, by the way, so he's going to take those out at least, so which is nice. But right now he needs to find something here. Needs to be very careful versus these spore crawlers, and of course they deal crazy amounts of damage. 35 to biological.
So right now these mutants kind of just control, but Cat knows what's up, and he just cranks up more roaches. As I said, I'm a bit surprised they went into infestors, but then again, he kind of can get away with it as long as he doesn't stop the roach production. He is slightly letting work as well, so this is okay. The infestor will help for the roach wars as well. You just want to make sure that you don't waste infestor energy or lose infestors to those mutants roaming around.
Well, Queen might end up falling here. Gets 2 transfuses out of this, but Cat has a good number of Queens, 6 in total. Gonna force these Mutalisks back for now. I mean, at this point, Cat's +2 almost finished. Should see a massive swell of roaches. I mean, because look at that bank.
Yeah. But, well, we see a little links here being created by Cat. He's planning on getting Banelings. That would be a very cool choice. Then again, he didn't get Baneling speed, though, so that would be a bit awkward.
Make things a little harder there to get those connections, but, you know, of course, once Cats get over to his side, to his opponent's side of the map, and he hits him with this massive wave of Banelings and those roaches, it's going to be so hard for Cham to get the time he needs to stabilize. Because, you know, as a function of those Banes and roaches, when you're fighting on your opponent's side of the map, it just makes it so hard for them to reinforce, or rather remax again.
So here's the problem, though. Look at the bank right now for Cats. He's really gassed up. He kind of messed up his gas timing, I feel.
Oh.
And, well, he does have that many roaches. Now we're going to see Cats move into the third base. Harass this really heavily. That's not going to force Cham back. And Cham has 42 roaches to only 24 of Cats. Now this is a big issue.
Oh, is this the opportunity that Cham needed to get back in this game? Because I mean, he was kind of down, but gets a fairly good fight. A couple of these infestors have already gone down, and no more of these fungal growths remain. Mutalisks still stand, a couple of them at least. He's moving up into the natural here. Is he going to be able to bring down this hatchery? He's going to go for the focus fire. That's going to go down, Alex. And well, suddenly, Cat's in a terrible position.
Yeah, Cats just didn't make enough roaches. He has 1,000 minerals right now, not being spent. And those links running into third base, well, they did get cleaned up. They killed a lot of workers, but that wasn't enough. And the roach strike now just overwhelming Cats. Cats just not having enough to hold on. And although, no, not even that, he's not even going to hold it right here. We see even more units being streamed in by Cham. This is way too much for the root player.
Man, this is brutal. I mean, even Cat's having that upgrade advantage, but just like you say, not having the numbers, having the upgrades, but not the roach count. Well, that sort of became a very straightforward victory there for Cham, who was looking kind of behind for most of that game.
Yeah, so the thing is that Cats was holding like 4 or 5 more roaches than his opponent. He was getting a few infestors, but still keeping ahead with more workers. So he was looking okay. That's the problem. But what kind of happened was that he just stopped making roaches. He didn't get enough gas really. So after making those infestors, he kind of didn't time out his gases properly, I guess. So he just spent all his gas up on infestors. So he had to make like a swell of links, who actually didn't do enough damage to third base even, and they didn't help anything in the fight.
One thing that I'm sort of curious about, Alex, you know, the fact that he made all those links to dump minerals just because he didn't have the gas. Do you think that came back to sort of hurt him, that he spent all those lava on Zerglings?
To be honest though, he was still gassed out, so I think it kind of...
Oh, well, I guess it's sort of become a, like... starved in both departments. Never good.
Yeah.
It's like I don't have food and I don't have water. It's worse than having no water, but you know, even if you have food and you have no water, you will still die from dehydration. And we kind of, so I guess that's what happened. He was just gas dehydrated.
Yeah, he kind of was, I guess.
He was out in the Zerg Sahara.
Yeah.
It is a desert template, to be fair.
It is. But, you know, we're not going to desert. Next map is going to be Expedition Lost. It's going to be on Hoth, of all maps.
Oh, so cold. I hope you guys have brought your winter jackets. Of course, go out on Twitter, hashtag SC2CopaAmerica, and join in the conversation and discussion here. We have this ZVZ, I mean, almost, it feels that we're getting closer and closer to the end. We have Cham up by 3. Oh, who would have thought? Cat's just sort of struggling, making a lot of mistakes, I feel, Alex.
Yeah, I have to agree. Cat's, like, he's doing well at times, but he just keeps struggling at certain aspects of the game. Like, when he right now was ahead, he saw the Roach One, he saw the Eva Chamber, you know he's not going to get any more mutants, you know he's going to stay at the ones he have, and if you kill any, he's not going to replace them, he can't afford that. But
maybe.
Oh?
Like, you know, you said about the gas timings? I think that's a big deal, but he invested in those infestors, which were kind of pointless, because even if you have the infestors right, if you are down by like 20 roaches, the fungals are not going to matter. So, did he perhaps dump what little gas he had into the wrong department?
I think that was fine to get the infestors, because you can still take the fight with fungals, because you have +2, you have fungals, it is fine. But I think it's much more about raw power and just holding on.
So it's like a numbers game?
It is absolutely a numbers game at that point.
Alright, man, but you know what? 4th map, maybe the final one. Let's get into it here on Expedition Lost. I'll play in the bottom left, playing for Root. It's looking so rough for him right now, Alex. Is he going to be able to turn things around? I don't know. He's going to have to play his heart out. It is none other than Cats.
And his opponents here in the top right hand corner, up 3-0 in this best out of 7 match point. It is none other than Cham.
Do you want to hear my prediction for this ZVZ?
Yes.
Cham 4-0.
Wow, sick prediction. It's like a 50-50.
Yeah, I know.
People are like, wait a minute, it could also be a 4-3, so it should be a 50-50, right? But then you realize, well, if it's a 50-50 for Cham to win this certain game, it is technically true.
If Cat can pull a soul key and turn things around 4 games in a row, that would be so insane. But I mean, he definitely has to step up his game in that case, right?
He does, and well, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to. Both players just playing standard macro right now. This is one of those maps that Roach vs. Roach gets really interesting. Muta works pretty fine, but you see the ice here in the back of the main base. What happens in Roach vs. Roach is that both players tend to start killing off the ice, and if you don't have a vision of it, the attacking Roach player will try to funnel up there. But if your opponent is really good, he might let you and then trap you and try to kill off a lot of your roaches.
Is it like you come up and think you're in a good position, but then he has this massive preset concave?
Exactly, and you can't run down quick enough, for instance.
That's true, because they kind of funnel back down, so they block each other, and then suddenly you lose too many roaches, and then you're kind of dead.
Exactly. Now, here's the thing though. Cham goes for pool first, while Cats goes for hatch first. So, Cats once again not afraid of this, and the thing is, if Cham just knew this, now he probably will with his overlord, actually he will know this with the overlord scouting, but seeing this happening several times in a row, I would like to see him just go for 9 pools next game or something, if he doesn't win this one.
Yeah, I think that it would just be this kind of thing that Cat's not ready for. Because he's sort of just been doing his own thing, really. In complete disregard to whatever Cham has been up to.
Yeah, and it hasn't been working out too well for him.
No,
Now,
sir.
Cham still doesn't have any gases, and when you go gasless, you do like to open with that pool first. It is very... The reason for it is because... Huh?
I mean, we're already past that like 340 mark that you touched upon in the last map.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, why you go pool first when you go for gasless most often is because that first queen is going to come down here so you can deny the scouting of your opponent, so he doesn't know they can kind of abuse the fact that you're going gasless. But you can also you can also get that creep tumor after the first inject with the queen, so you actually get a perfect timing on your creep spread towards that that ramp, so you can actually block off in time for like 14-14s, or even just like baning all-ins or speeding all-ins.
We're getting closer to 5 minutes here. I guess, should we be seeing these double gas go down? There we are. From this, are we just going to see Cham go right into roaches? Cats on his side of the map. What is he up to? Staying on the single gas, and he has not started speed. Are we going to see a fast layout of Cats here, maybe?
Well, he still does have speed, as you say. It looks like a fast lap, but then again, you would kind of pull off gas. He's just pooling tons and tons of gas. Now, Cham saw there's no speed on the way. He's going to go in again. See, still no speed, no last. And he clicks the gas. He should be clicking the gas. He doesn't. But he sees that he's still mining at least. So he knows there's a massive amount of gas right now for Cats. But I think I know what Cats is up to. We've seen this before, and it looks pretty crazy. But it's like you just add up tons of gas and you just start going for roaches pretty early on. The roach war is a bit late though, and he's getting an evo, so I think he might just be cutting a few corners instead.
So he's going to go into +1, and then we see a lair, like lair +1 roaches kind of thing, perhaps?
Yeah, just about. Well, we'll see the lair before the +1, but still, kind of what you just said. Now, here's the thing, Cham just goes exactly where he should be. Cats comes in, doesn't see speed, he sees lair on the way, so he knows this is standard. Gases into +1 roach, and he's going to see a pretty early third, which he can't actually deny now because he didn't go for speed.
No way to punish. Well, so both of these guys will go to secure their third bases. Cat has started +1. We see what Carapace here once again, actually from Cham. Huh.
I am not really a big fan of this, because if you guys know the math for this, Carapace always removes 1 damage, while attack always adds 10%. Now, roaches deal
16.
Yes, so you add 1.6, which kind of rounds up, so it's actually 2 damage. So it rounds up to 2 damage per roach. So technically, the missile attack is twice as good as the Carapace upgrade.
Yeah, or I guess like rather the attack value versus the defensive value. If you look at these two upgrades, but Glider Reconstitution started it for Cham. Do you think he has any opportunity to perhaps utilize that and go for a big attack before the speed of Cats finishes up, or will we just see him sort of staying back, defending his third base, and then from there, maybe for the first time, go into a bit of a longer game?
I would be really surprised to see Cham push in, but then again, he's right now making tons of roaches, so I'm actually going to take that back, because if he'd just been droning and getting a few roaches, then I would be very surprised, but the fact that he decides to go for Carapace like this is almost like as he wants to attack with all his roaches, and then just behind it, rally massive amounts of Zerglings. But
that's true.
We're going to see, though.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, you know, like Carapace helping, +1 Carapace helping out Lings a ton. If your opponent has +1 roaches because they don't get 2 shot if you have that upgrade. Nonetheless though, Cham, his drone count is really low, so Alex, I think that he's just going to go for a big attack. Try to end the game already.
24 roaches to 9 right now. And Cats has stopped making workers, but he now sees Cham moving out. There's 1 spine, but we see 14 more, even 16 more roaches for Cham, who's moving across the map. And although we have a massive defender's advantage for Cats, I'm not sure if it's massive enough.
Oh, we'll have to see. He has to fight by the spine call. The second one does go down, and already concave for Cham is in his advantage. He's going to try to back up away from this spine, but it's still in range. And now we go, darting on forward here.
He needs to focus it down.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Does fall, and he's pushing up into the third base. There's barely anything here for Cats. This base is very isolated right now. He has reinforcements streaming in from the natural, but Alex, is this going to be enough? We see drones even being pulled off here.
Yeah, and this is great for Cham, but he needs to really deal damage here, because if the Cat survives without Cham dealing some serious damage, Cat is just in a perfect position. He's still ahead by a good 8 workers or so. Third being attacked though, as more and more roaches coming out here for Cat. Burrow has finished, Tunneling Claws on the way. And, well, Cham right now taking this engagement once again. Needs to finish down that spine crawler though.
Yeah, the spine crawler helping out so much here. Now Cats looks like he's going to be able to stabilize. He's cleaning up the roach numbers of his opponent. And now these guys, even in workers, dead even in this economy, Cham actually added in a couple of more drones behind this. He's got even more on the way. And now Cats is looking to go for this counter swing. And he has Tunneling Claws done in 15 seconds. And, well, that's going to help him out quite significantly.
Cham is going to try to buy some time, but damaging that rock tower is going to force Kaz to kill that off before he passes it. But, well, what we should see from Kaz right now is splitting up small groups of roaches to the left-hand side, maybe even killing off the eyes and trying to go for the right-hand side, or even maybe just going into the natural, as he then goes with his main army to try to bait out Cham. We see instead a massive amount of roaches burrowed going towards that left-hand side. And if they were to just pop into the third base, they could kill off most of these workers instantaneously.
Like he could even go in, kill Hatch and get out of there, because no way really here for Cham to answer to that. Does he even have any detection with this? No, he's even going to be he's going to be completely out of position for this as well.
Oh my god, they're going to pass each other even. So to be honest, we might even turn into this weird base trade.
Well, here we go, Alex. Roaches popping up into the third base. Queen is going to go down. A handful of drones will follow. And that's a dead third if I ever saw one, but at the same time, you see Cham pushing up into the natural. All the drones are fighting it. The position for Kaz is fairly good, but he's going to lose this Roach Warren. And that was a really decisive pick off here from Cham. Kaz needs to drop that down right away, because eventually his numbers will dwindle. But at the same time, Cham losing the Roach Warren back at home as well. I think Kaz is going to be able to take this game.
Kaz right now 45, Roaches to only 30 of Cham. Kaz trying to make this comeback happen, and way too many roaches entering the base of Cham, as Cham can't even kill Kaz. Kaz with a perfect concave shutting down Cham's roaches, and this should just be enough for our root player to take his first map in the series.
Yeah, very nice play here from Kaz, managing to swing things back, holding on strong at that third base. It was looking so scary. He was very much down in those roach numbers, but well, does manage to swing things around here in this series. Third base here will end up dying, but I mean, he's virtually destroyed everything, all of the infrastructure here for his opponent.
Yeah, 26 to 14. You might think there's only 12 roaches. That doesn't matter too much, but then remember that at these low numbers, every roach really counts, and well, Kaz being almost twice as many roaches as opponents, there's no way really for Cham to do anything. He's going to try to run back, but it's a bit too late for that.
Yeah, now the roaches from the main and natural will join up here for our Blue Zerg to close things out here in map number 4 in this best out of 7, which means we will be going to our 5th game, and Cat stays alive for now.
Cat has 7 lives, and
don't they say they have like 9 lives?
In this case, he's gonna have 7.
That's true. He's spent 3 of them.
Yeah, actually, he's gonna have 4 lives, I guess, is a better way to put it. But the thing is, Cat right now took this map, and it was a bit interesting because Cham looked like he was going to break Cats, and I have to say, I think it all kind of comes down to the fact that he wanted so badly to attack into Cats, but not focusing down that spine crawler. And when he managed to push Cats back, not going for that third base, and even the fact that he keeps on going for the Carapace upgrade instead of missile, I don't get it, because if he got links behind it, sure, but it doesn't.
Yeah, I definitely think like one of the biggest mistakes, the fact he keeps going Carapace, like doesn't help him as much. I mean, sure, it would be much better if he went for the missile attacks, had a second evolution chamber, dropped Carapace with that. Like, that would make a lot more sense, but just blindly going for the armor upgrade right away. I mean, we see that really hurting him in those straight-up engagements. Because he was fighting +1 Carapace versus +1 attack, which was, you know, virtually nullifying that entire upgrade from the get-go. So, didn't really come into play too much. Final thoughts on that map, on Expedition Lost, is, well, should have focused down that third base and then got out.
Yeah, I feel if he got missile attacks first and foremost, he might have even just won the game straight out, and focusing down third would absolutely seal the deal.
It's more like a nail in the coffin.
Yeah, something he can do as well is take the high ground, which he kind of had for a second. Take the high ground at the third, start focusing down, but then just like keep the high ground and make sure that the roaches of your opponent does not get to attack you without going up that ramp. And that's going to give you at all times the best possible engagement that you can, really.
Yeah, so a bit of a shame there that Cham not realizing his mistake, but nonetheless, that means Cats still staying alive in this best out of 7 bronze match. And, well, we'll see. Will he be able to continuously run? Oh man, I can't. How do we say this? Will he be able to continue this anti-streak? Because I mean, takes map number 4. Map number 5 will be Inferno Pools.
Yeah, very interesting map for ZVZ. You can get just about any spawn on this map, and well, because of how the map is kind of laid out, you can go for very early pools. 14-14, if you spawn diagonally, it can be really scary. You can also see a bit of like hidden 14-14s where they kind of what is that? Would that be like 14-13 or like 15-14?
Try to sneak a slightly earlier pool.
You can even sneak a bit later pool, like you go pool first, then gas, a bit sneak as well. But something I want to note here is that Sham still has the possibility of seeing Cats go hatch first 3 games in a row, or even 4 maybe, I'm not sure at this point. He could absolutely go for 9 pool right now and try to punish his opponents. I mean, yeah, it was 3 hatches in a row.
We saw it on Varney, and I mean, it worked out quite well, so...
Yeah, that was actually against a pool first. But I think, yeah, Chowie right now, pulling out a 9 pool in this map would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess one thing perhaps I should have drifted him away from that would be the fact that it's a bigger map, so harder to scout. That being said though, ladies and gentlemen, we are here yet again, on maybe the final map depending on how things goes. Our first player here in the bottom right, it is going to be the Red Zug playing for Team Root. It is... No, wait, sorry. It is going to be our Red Zug playing for Team Brawl, or Brawl Esports. It's going to be Cham.
And his opponent in the left-hand side playing for Root Gaming.
The real Root.
Yes. It is going to be none other than Cats.
Managing to take that map number 4. And, well, no crazy pulls here from Cham. So I guess you're a little sad, Alex.
Yeah, I am actually.
Okay, he's 9 scouting.
No. Oh, the scouts, I mean? Yeah. I don't know. It's something you can do. I mean,
is this being super safe, or?
You also block your opponent's hatchery with it, so it's really annoying if your opponent tries something. There we go, though. Cat's going for the 13 gas, so this is like a 14-14, but you go like 13-13 instead.
A little earlier then?
Yeah, it's like the 14-14, but you don't actually get the hatchery, so you can macro, so it's like even more all in. And Sham is going to scout this right away, which is soul crushing for Cats.
Oh man, and he's going to be able to respond perfectly. Sees that.
Whoa,
oh, did he see the gas?
He saw drones being pulled, but no. So he thinks he's going to block a hatchery, and he's going to go hatch first because of this. I don't know, man. This is bad.
Oh, okay, so that a bit of a mistake there from Cham, which can end up costing him the game. Hatchery has gone down. We'll have to see. Does he go gas and then pull, or pull first? That's going to be a very important moment right now for Cham here. Oh, God.
Well, the thing is, with this kind of opener, Cat still needs to get speed, and he's getting only 2 guys in gas at the same time, so he doesn't have the earliest speed possible. So it's still okay. Like, it's going to be a bit of delayed aggression.
Would it have been much worse if Cats tried to rush out that speed?
Yeah, like, he's going to strike when the speed finishes. So now Cham is wondering, why aren't you getting anything? And he still doesn't see that gas. He thinks he scouted it, but he just doesn't understand. Now he's thinking, is it like another base? No, it's not. What is this? He's scouting up again. He's looking, what are you doing? He needs to see that gas, though. He sees links right now.
Oh, no.
Doesn't see the speed, and he gets killed. No, he sees the gas at least.
Okay, so now he knows what's up. I mean, like, really late.
I'm not even sure if he knows. Because he didn't get to click it.
Yeah, maybe he didn't have time. I mean, there was just like a brief moment where he could have had like half a second, even less. But still, we'll see. It drops the baling nest right away, so I mean, this is going to help him.
Yeah, he knows what's up now.
Okay, so very, very important here that he knows that Cats is going to be a big speedling play.
So what you can do is, like, if you know your opponent's going to have a speed much quicker than you, so you can't really defend against speed by getting your own, what you do is you get a baling nest before your own speed, so you can defend against his speedlings by just having a few of those banelings and micro them around, and making sure, though, that you don't lose them to a single ling or so. It's
just like buy time for like speed, spines, whatever.
Or deterrent even.
Oh yeah, that's true, of course. Like if you can control the top of this ramp or these sections around the minerals with those banes and queens, very hard for the speedling player to make anything happen. Already Cham, look at this, excellent positioning with these 2 banelings defensively in the mineral line already.
Yeah, I really like it, and now he does see the speed finish, he knows the timing of it, and he uses his overlords to see the how many links are coming out here, and it's a lot of links coming out from Cat to begin with, but then he goes back to droning, so he's trying to get a bit of lead from this, and you're going to see Cats already pulling ahead in workers compared to Champ. So Champ kind of has to realize what is up.
Oh, this queen getting fully surrounded will have to... Well, it does go down. No time. Cats does not want to be moving these banelings away from this ramp, because that's probably one of the most important locations right now for him to defend, but he does force the speedlings of Cats away for now. Gets a pair of more speedlings here. Cats, well, he's just droning behind this very happily.
25 seconds left until Cham has speed, and he's still making links. I think Cham got realizing that Cat is not going to be overly aggressive because he sends out his own slow links. He's making more banelings. I think Cat is getting a bit panicky here. He's making more links right now. It's up to these banelings, but I think Cat might be able to hold on. He focuses so well to that first baneling, and every baneling right now is so important.
In the red, it's going to easily get focused down here. More units across the map here for Cham. He's just constantly making more lings. These two banelings will potentially get caught out. He needs to be so careful. 3 queens here though, that's going to be very important. They tank a lot of this damage. Trying to go for that spine, but no. Is going to try to go for the wraparound on the queens. All of these queens very low. No transfuse energy available actually. One does go down. Number 2 does fall. And he's going to head right up into the main with these 4 Zerglings that remain. Banelings though get a decent connection with a couple of these drones. 4 in total have gone down. It's not enough though. As Cat's going for the counter-attack with these feelings into the natural of Cham.
Cat's right now up with 6 workers to Cham, and he's still holding that spine core. It's such an important structure at this point to make sure the Banes do nothing to him. And well, these counterattacks have been just amazing for him. He doesn't have his own Bane nest. He knows it's not going to be that easy to defend with pure links. He's just doing this exactly how he's supposed to, and behind this he's droning, so all he needs to do now is survive.
Yeah, but I mean, he's doing an excellent job keeping his opponent back. He managed to get a couple of those lings on the left hand side, and just constantly with these roach, or rather, I mean with these ling numbers, making sure that Cham can't even fight on Cat's side of the map. This is exactly what he wants to be doing, buying lots of time, and so well, even getting a baneling speed of his own behind, or baneling nest of his own behind this.
Yeah, Cat's just doing this phenomenally, I have to say. And well, Cham just got fooled. His scout was right where it's supposed to be, but well, he kind of messed it up a bit, and that's all it takes. He got fooled by Cats, and well, that might just give Cats enough of a lead to close this game out really quickly.
Yeah, drones in the natural being pulled away now. 13 workers ahead. More lings on the way for both of our players, and now they're going to make their way up into the main. Nothing to defend it. Drone's going to be forced to fight. And not too much really on the ground right now for a Red Zerg, who's kind of falling apart at this point, as Cat is just now continuously going to be adding in more units with this economical lead.
Yeah, I kind of like it as well. And now that he has Banings as well, he can easily start making more of those. Cats, they're floating so many minerals, supply blocking himself right now, which is a bit unfortunate, but he's just going to make 6 Banelings. Hold here. He even killed 6 workers his opponent's season right now, almost doubling his opponent's working requirement.
Bad.
And yeah, Cham's not doing all too well.
No, you'd really want to get value out of every single baneling when your economy is so weak. And now Cats has pretty much an advantage in every single department going for him. So I think we're actually going to be going to get another game.
I think that might be the case here. Going to see Cats focus down that baneling, and Cats is getting more aggressive. He's now adding that roach for, and that is kind of the winning condition in this case, because you can keep on making links, sure, but the easiest way to kind of close this out is just to get those roaches out ASAP. Cats has so many resources piled up that he's just going to do this. Even gets a perfect connection with that baneling, so he's going to get the queen of blue. Oh!
Survives with yes, 1 health, 1 HP. Ha!
Wow.
Well done. He's sending more lings across the map. Now he's starting his first roaches, so I mean, he's going to close things out here when the roaches arrive. There's just no way here for Cham to hold. He's going to be down in economy, no spine crawlers, no nothing really. Not even a second queen with any transfusion energy stacked. He actually has 1 queen, so no injects going on in the main either.
Yeah, Cats right now, he's I think it's a smart move, because banelings can, like for instance, if you get like 15 banelings instead and your opponent just goes in with 3-4 of his own, he can kill every single one of those. So it's much more safe to just go into that roach play and make sure he can close the game out. Now we see Cats getting an Evo, we see him getting that lab, but it's more like a precaution. We should just see these across the map.
Whoa.
Huh?
That was super brutal. Cham didn't have his units on hold positions, so he lost all of his lings and 2 banes to 2 banelings of cats.
Ouch.
Yeah, like we're talking like 12 lings at least and 2 banes for 2 banes. That was a terrible trade. Not even a trade. And Cham, well, realizing that that's going to be his ticket to win this game, pretty much gone with a win there. Well, that means cats now 2 maps. Still 1 game away from elimination, but it is a best of 7, so he needs to win 2 more.
Yeah, well, Cat's making a bit of a comeback here, but remember, as I say, he needs to win 2 games, and all that his opponent needs to do is to take that 1 single
Map.
game. Yes.
1 map away still, I mean, like... But he's completely turned this around. He's completely swung the initiative the other way, so... Now Cham a little bit nervous here. I mean, I think... kind of nerves, because he did make the hold, you know, versus Cat's earlier speed and stuff like that.
Yeah, he played so well the first 3 games, but then the final map here, or rather maps, he kind of just crumbled a bit. A bit surprised to see, but, well, still, a lot of things can happen. I still am waiting for that early pull from Cham.
Yeah, would definitely be a bit of a Hail Mary play, right? Because, I mean, he loses this one. That means we go to a 3-3 standing, which would bring it to that final ace game, map number 7. But we are on Iron Fortress here. Alex, it's going to be map number 6. Yet again, another 4-player map. A lot of distance to cover. So, I mean, if we see that early pull, would still take quite a bit of time for it to get across.
Yeah, Iron Fortress is probably the best map for it, unless you go for like a 14-14. We'll see, it depends on how close you spawn. Now, we are starting here, and Cats, I want to say, making a comeback, playing much better than the first 3 games.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I think the fact that he sort of just... I guess he realized that, wow, I'm actually 1 game away from elimination. I have to change things up. I can't be doing the exact same thing over and over again. I have to find some way to get initiative, and well, I mean, he's done a fairly good job thus far. So, well, let's just see what's going to happen now in map number 6. 2 maps remaining in this best out of 7. Our first player here in the bottom left. In the red, it's going to be from Brawl Esports. It is Cham. 1 map away from that victory.
And his opponent in the top right-hand corner for Root Gaming, it is none other than Cats. Down 1 game, it's best of 7. Still match point though.
Oh yeah. So, I mean, it is Cham's series to kind of lose, but Cat's doing an excellent job so far in turning things around.
And Cham, that is an early drone you're sending out. So once again, go for that early scout.
Well, oh, I thought he was gonna... I didn't actually realize that he made that overload, Alex. I thought he was actually going for a temple. I was like, Cham.
So what Cham does, by the way, which will trick a lot of people, is that he goes for the overlord into triple drone, which is because he goes like the 10 overlord without extractor trick. I think it's the least efficient way of doing it, but it's the most lazy way, I think.
Well, Alex, we have a 13-13 again from Cats.
Well, he's gonna have to make it work. It is a pull first into hatchery from Cham, and Cham is going to scout it this time. I just feel so bad for him because he had the perfect counter. Like, he set up with the hatch first, which is fine, but he sent the drone out. He got the first scout's possibility.
But missed that gas. I mean, imagine if you would have seen that, you know, with the first swing in with that drone. Completely different game, right?
So Cham scouts to the right with his drone, vertically with his overlord, and we'll know that this is diagonal positions. But this time he's not going to send the drone diagonally, so he's not going to see what's going to come for him.
No, well, he adds his gas now. I mean, I guess it'll sort of come down to what he'll be wanting to do. He's getting the lings of his own out, so going straight up to 6.
So Cat right now, he's only getting speed. He's not going to have any baning follow-up or anything like that. He even sends up his drone right now to get that hatchery. Only 4 lings made from Cats.
Do you think he's gonna like try to find a bit of an opening, see like, okay, so you don't have too much, add more links into that, or just maybe try to fake out his opponent while he drones.
I think he just snuck in a drone, perhaps, because he's still sending links behind this. Now, Cham made 6 links right away, and this is something you can do to kind of put on pressure early on if you go for that pull first, but what they will find is that Cat already sending a lot of links across the map.
Yeah, we'll see. He's gonna maybe be able to come up into the main here. Yeah, no way to bluff this off, really. Well, Cats does force Cham out for now. Speed is almost done, though, so these are 6 dead Zerglings that we're looking at, Alex. And at the same time, these 4 links in the natural of Cham. Starting to chip away a little bit at the hatchery, but as soon as Cham sees speed finish, do you think he's, like, that's going to be a bit scary, because he doesn't know if Cats is adding a lot more links behind this or not.
Yeah, he now knows something's wrong, because that's a super quick speed. I mean, Cham just started his, and while he's getting a spine crawler on the high ground, a Bane nest, and I think he might just move that spine crawler down to the low ground. They're going to use links and a queen to wall off this ramp to buy time, but that natural is so susceptible to any attacks. And that ramp is not fully walled off yet, Tenchi.
Oh, so scary. Okay, 2 queens will be holding this position locked down for now. Still buying a little bit of time, so the hatchery is actually not taking damage, but the spine crawler has no way of getting down. And now one of those queens isolated. He will have to hold position that spine in order to make sure these links cannot get up. This is so important. Even a drone, they're buffering a little bit. And well, Cham for now looking fairly good, but this is a mistake. He's leaving that ramp completely open, and the spine house is going to go for that burrow. Only a single drone. Getting and putting more drones down here to on that whole position. Cham is doing an excellent job right now, but is that going to be enough?
Well, it is going to be enough to hold these links off, and well, Cat's behind this is droning, so Cats is going to be up in drones actually. Let's see how many queens he has. Cats is already up to 3 queens, so Cat is ahead already, and this is not looking too good for Cham. Cat's trying to kind of take these games by going for kind of early pulls and droning behind him. It's a bit tricky, I have to say, from him.
Yeah, a few more links will make their way in here. Try to get a drone again or 2. Finds a second drone, maybe gets number 3. Very, very nice small snipes here from Cat, actually. Getting that extra bit of value out of his Zerglings. And now Cat's dropping that Roach Warren. Should be going up to gas number 2, maybe gas number 3 here, I guess.
Yeah, should see 3 gases, I believe. Should be enough. Let's see how many drones he has. He's actually only on 24 drones, so plus the 3, so I guess that's 27 drones. So he's going to be I guess at this point maybe only 2
gas geysers.
There we go. A third comes down for that +1, so I guess it's okay.
Cham, what is he up to? He goes right into that lair. Gets gas number 2. No Roach Warren yet. Do you think is he gonna try to go mute us again?
Well, I would be very surprised. I would be very, very surprised if we saw that.
Oh,
but he is going for it.
Well then.
This is my face of surprise.
Okay, so Alex, we have roaches soon on the way here for Cat. He's got that lair done just now, and well, this is going to be a bit scary, right, for Cham?
So the thing is, what we saw last game is not really what we're seeing right now, because Cats wanted to close out the game right away, so he just masked out roaches. Now we're going to see something similar, where he masked out roaches, but now he decided to go for +1 and speed before then, so they are kind of delayed. And, well, Cat's even sneaking in a few drones here and there, hasn't even started his 3rd yet, so everything is looking still okay for Cham. 3rd now going to be started, but Spire already on the way here, so this is still looking better than the game we saw on Echo.
Now maybe Cham will see, or rather maybe Cham can find an opportunity here to do some damage once his first Mutalisks start hatching. A couple of roaches in production right now though for Cats. +1 is almost done. Glider Reconstitution to go with this as well. There we go, starts that 3rd. A little late, he actually squeezed in a handful of roaches before planting down that 3rd hatchery. Spire nearing completion. 5 spines on the way here for Cham.
Yeah, this is Mutalisk players for you.
Oh, one good first connection.
Good connections. Going to ease the attack here a bit from Cats, and well, with 5 spines, you should be absolutely fine.
We're gonna have 6 in total.
Wow.
Very heavy spine numbers here.
Yeah, we'll usually see something between 4 and 7 or so. I mean, it's still okay. It's still nothing crazy. It's kind of what you need to hold on against the roach attack that is going to come from Cat until you have your own users out.
Yeah, this is a bit of a problem though. He is fairly mineral starved investing in these spines. It will buy some time though. But Cat is actually just... Is he going to just try to march right on top of him? No, very good trap here from Cham on that right-hand side. Very, very nice.
So, Cat right away gets that infestation pit. Let's see, Cham right now went up to the 9 meters. So let's see if Cham right now goes for the Roach Warner Evo chamber. He can hit some really amazing timings, but if he continues with the Mutalisk production, I'm going to be very worried for him because Cat is already set up perfectly to deal with pure Muta play.
This third base is a little exposed though. No Spore Crawlers ready, but I mean, he's got a good number of queens out. So, 3 queens. Oh, Mutalisk is gonna die.
Oh.
5 queens even, and a lot of transfused energy on one of those. So I think should be going into roaches. There we have that Roach Warren Alex and that Evolution Chamber as well. But still, his third is going to be much later.
So Cats, you can see how he's forced to make 6 overlords. He's losing so many here. And, well, he's getting passing glands. He's getting so many Spore Crawlers. The thing is, sure, he has a third base set up before Cham, but this is standard. And, well, you spend so much because of how much damage these mutants can do. Now, might even catch another Overlord here. Going to be so annoying.
Yeah, has Overlord speed. Cats, that is, actually. Decided to squeeze that in.
Oh no, Cats even goes into Hydras as well. This is a very tech-heavy army, but it's not that great against pure Roach.
Oh, tried. Loses the Muta. Tried to get another Overlord, just not having the numbers. Zergling counterattack on the right-hand side. There are units in position, so I think he should be holding these back. Ooh, even adding in Banelings with this. If Cats isn't paying attention, then suddenly that can take a turn for the worse. But we see Cham going right away, grabbing this 4th base, because, of course, Mutalisk's excellent at maintaining that map control.
So Cham decides not to go into the +1 Roach timing. Instead, he goes 1-1 Roaches, and he's just going to Roach Hydra. This is not something I like to see, because, well, although he might get away with 4th, this is basically saying instead of killing his opponent right away, he's just trying to out-macro him. And, well, that kind of relies on the fact that Cats doesn't hit that really strong Roach Hydra infested max out almost.
No, Banes, by the way, didn't do any damage.
No.
Sort of just went in there and died. Cats paying attention. A couple of Lings still remain on the right-hand side. But yeah, so do you think this 4th base from Cham, is that going to be a big point of impact here in this game? Or, I mean, will we even see it come into fruition?
Well, the Muta's buying him a lot of time, and he's going to get that 4th base up. He has 72 workers right now, which is kind of insane. But he's going to be Roach Hydra against Roach Hydra Infestor. And remember, he has worse upgrades, so Cats probably will try to hit that +2 timing. Not really maxed out, but it's going to be at a higher supply count.
Oh, man. He already has the Grooved Spires upgrade done as well, that Hydra range. Cham is down in army count, quite heavily, I might add.
Yeah, and now he's adding that infestation pit. He's being so greedy right now, which is going to be a problem because what he needed to do was to hold the 4th base against Cats. And if he can hold 4 base against Cats, then Cats has to go back. He has to get his own 4th base and then kind of lick his wounds and admit that he's behind. But now being this greedy, Cats is going to have that big advantage in army when he attacks across the map. And I think that is going to be at any time now.
Oh, so Cham is going to come in. He's going to see that there are Hydralisks in the field right now for his opponent. And even though he has an excellent economy, it's going to be all about that numbers game yet again. The Mutas, though, Alex, I want to say, they've bought him a ton of time. And even these Banelings trying to get a connection, and will he be able to get it to 3 drones for his troubles? Not too great.
Not really worth it, but, it's still a good attempt.
But it's time,
Yeah, now Cats knows. He has to be really careful, and we're going to see a max up from both players. Now, Cats is going to have +2 when we only see 1-1 from Cham. But Cham is going to have 2-2 as Cats only has 2-1. So he's going to have the slight upgrade lead, but also the much quicker hive for that +3 for those Vipers.
One thing though, Alex, look at the Hydra numbers. 20 here for Cham, 11 for Cats. Roach numbers are doubling for our Blue Zerg, but still, these the fact that he has a lead in those Hydralisks is going to be quite important here, I believe, because it's so much easier to add roaches to your already standing army, right? I mean, they produce so much quicker, considerably cheaper. And if you can just hold on now, because both of these guys maxed, if you can take a fairly good fight, maybe on top of this ramp, with defender's advantage, is he going to be in a good position? We'll have to see, though. Katz is going to swing up here, though, completely uncontested.
Well, Champ falls right away, and he's going to try and take this engagement. Great first funnel from Katz, but he's right now in that funnel, and you don't want to attack in there.
Oh.
He does run in and kill the first spine callers. Meanwhile, the Mutas, I believe they killed the fourth base.
They did. So now Katz is down one base, and both of these players maxed, and well, Cham is going to have the better upgrades. Foster Hive as well going for him. So has Cham ended up taking a much better position with buying so much time?
There's one big thing here. Katz hasn't physically seen the fourth base of Cham when reconnecting it.
That's a big mistake. These mutas are now going to end up dying. Oh no, well, he actually decides to maintain 5 of them. So they can be even more annoying. But still, look at how much time he's bought. Like, he's bought like 4 or 5 minutes with the mutalisks alone. So Cham playing an excellent game here.
So right now we're going to see all those spore cores being made and cancelled to make sure the Cham can max out as much as possible, really. He's getting 3 Vipers and should just be making hunters behind it.
Here we go, Katz, though. He's going to swing up, and now he finds the 4th. He's going to get right on top of everything here. Spine Crawler's going down. Good decision, but he needs to be so careful. Good Fungal does go down. Trap a lot of these units, and the Conkibi is heavily favoring Katz right now. One of these spines helping out from the low ground. Will it be enough, though? Another Fungal does go down. These units getting lower and lower in health, and Katz with a significant supply advantage. Suddenly, with Cham plummeting in supply, having to abandon that 4th hatchery.
Yeah, right now behind us, Cham was getting Vipers, and they have finished, but they don't have energy. They're not using Consume right now, and Katz is right on top of the natural here. Cham was ahead. Cham had everything going for him, but he's too focused on the wrong things. He took the bad engagement, and this is the price he pays. Katz right now on top of every single building, and Cham is out of money.
Now this is going to be it. Katz has managed to swing things around to a 3-3, which will bring us to that ace game. Cham just playing so well, buying so much time. He was looking at several points in the game, kind of dead, just if Katz would have attacked, but no, bought so much time with his mutas, but in the end, just not going to be enough to pay off here. And Katz is going to demolish Cham here in map number 6, which will mean we are going to game number 7, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yes, we're going to go into the final game in this best out of 7, this ZVZ right now. Katz has pulled his way back 3 games in a row to bring us to this final game. What do you think?
Oh man, that's like really explosive series. I thought Katz dead, because first was looking sort of really shaky there for Cham, right? But those mutas, they really made a lot of magic happen. And then Cham had such a good position. But then, like you said, man, he just sort of took the wrong decisions at the wrong times.
Yeah, it looked really good for Chamas several times, but well, in the end, I mean, he had everything going for him. He was trying to get all those spore cores. The problem was, like, he got the Vipers and he made like 15 spore callers that he needs to cancel at the same time. Then Katz attack, and he needs to cancel these spore callers, so a few of them start to finish up. So he has to go away from the engagement to look at that. And I feel like a small thing that would save the game here for Chad would have been setting up like a unit or an overseer or an overlord close to the base, so you see when your opponent is about to attack you, because the only thing that killed him this game was poor positioning.
Yeah, really important. I think we've touched upon this so many times, and I can't stress it enough. You really need to have that angle of engagement in ZVZ when it comes down to those road wars. And, you know, add Hydras on top of that as well. They need to have that angle so they can fire effectively in combat. Cham sort of miscontrolling at the end, and, well, you see how that went. That being said, though, we are loading into our final map. It's going to be on Cactus Valley, another 4-player map. And, is this where he pulls out that dreaded 9-or temple?
I don't know, man. Cactus Valley, not really the map for it, but you know what? We never know with these players. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into Cactus Valley with our first player in the top right-hand corner. It's going to be the Red Zug. tied right now in this match point. It is going to be Cham playing for Brawl Esports.
And his opponent in the bottom right, playing for Team Root in the blue, making the comeback happen, taking map number 4, 5, and 6 in a row. Is he going to be able to close things out? Or will he fall short so close to that final victory? It's going to be Cats.
Indeed. Cats right now managed to pull 3 games in a row. Do you believe that?
I was not expecting this. I mean, he was looking dead in map number 4. But just ended up taking the better engagements and having the stronger decision making. And I mean, of course, that does sort of carry you quite far in Zerg versus Zerg, having good decisive decision making. Huh. Well, look at this. Cats is once again gonna go for that 13 pool. No. Oh, never mind.
No, he cancelled.
I just didn't have lava. I was like, oh, Cats, why do you do this?
Well, right now, Cats is... Oh my god, he
Oh!
Cham, the thing is, like, the one-up by doing this, instead of just getting the scouting, you also deny that hatch for quite some time. Like, it's a good 30 seconds or so, but he didn't get that. So that's... Seriously, Cats just earned 30 seconds of mining and lava production and queen production and everything from that base.
It's like very rough that he didn't get that. Cats does get that Overlord Scout down right away. Starts gas. Cham, no gas yet. Pool. Perhaps we'll see him play gasless again. I mean, he's been looking fairly comfortable in it.
Yeah, he might. I mean, he did play really well the game he went gasless, but, well, I do hope that, you know, if he does it again, he doesn't go for Carapace instead of +1. That being said, he gets his own gas, so Cat's is going to be a bit ahead, but the speed shouldn't be that late for Cham.
Whoa, okay, he cancels. Did I'm going to check it. The Overlord from Cats did see the gas go down, but he's going to check again. So very smart here from Cats. Not going to take any risks. So now he knows exactly what's up. Man, that would have been a very important fake out if Cats actually didn't see.
You know what's so sick? Cats' Overlord didn't get spotted by the hatchery.
Oh, so he thinks.
So Cham thinks that he's tricking Cats, but instead it's Cats is tricking Cham that he's being tricked. Get meta.
That's so meta game, man.
So once again, though, he goes for that same play they did in that first game. And, well, is it melee? Yes, it is. So this is exactly the same openers that we saw in that very first game, which Cham did win.
Yeah, I mean, stylistically, the Cham going for that Carapace did help him out in the early stages with the +1 melee versus Carapace, but, of course, falling behind versus the Roach, or rather falling behind in the Roach battles. He did, though, however, manage to close things out before it came to that stage. We'll see if he can do that again. Cham now. Well, I guess it ended up being gasless, Alex.
It was, and a bit late double gas here from Cham, but he's going to just add in a few drones to compensate. Now, I'm not sure what Cats really want to accomplish with this, because Cham, although he added that Carapace in, was pretty smart, Cats never got enough links for Cham's
to be able to kill to be able to kill that third, right, in game number 1.
No. I'm meaning like it was never worth to get that Carapace from Cham. Like, there wouldn't have been enough links really to like, I don't know, make the arguments to get it.
I get what point you. I know what you mean. Like, just not. It's just not as important for the later stages of the game, like as it would have been to get that +1 instead. It didn't help him as much as a +1 would have.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I said, it's basically half of the value you get from the +1.
That being said, though, Cat's going for a faster third, adding in a couple of lings, has speed on the way, and he sees the third base go down, so we'll probably see him attempt to cancel, and well, Cham, right, he goes into Carapace yet again. He
does. Well, we see the line on the way right now for Cham as Cats Well, it does have the earlier plus, oh, rather earlier third base, as he now is adding that roach one, but now more lings coming out, much more than last time, and he's going for that third base cancel, and there's actually an opening in the natural as well.
I think Cat's realizing again, by the way, that, you know, in game number 1 I made too few lings, didn't really end up too much, and there we go, gets that third base cancel, sees there's a bunch of roaches, right? But every single game that Cham has played into roaches, he's been going for carapace first. Do you think Cats knows this? I mean, he must have realized. He must have been clicking those roaches and going like, that's carapace and not attack.
Oh yeah, he must have known. Now, here's the thing again. The roaches do come down. It's +1. The carapace is still not done yet. The hat trick's going to go down. Cancel just in time.
Even gets the drone. Don't want to be fighting in this angle. There we go, picks that off. Yet again, just delaying so much. Behind it, this Cat's got roaches of his own on the way, and that +1 is halfway done already, and Glide reconstitution on top of that, and I think he's going to get the drone for the third time.
So the thing is here right now that Cats, he's staying on 3 bases. You see that he's not making any drones right now. That's because he knows his opponent is only on 2, so he has to watch out so his opponent can't get too many roaches. And he himself has just been constantly making roaches. He has 24. He has 12 to the 24 Cham. So he's slowly but surely catching up here. As Cham right now wants to push, he's going to have a superior roach numbers. But then again, Cats has the defender's advantage. So Cats, all he has to do kind of is to hold on. And he's going to catch up in roach numbers in no time.
Remember as well, you know, Cats has that worker advantage. So the follow-up reinforcements will become fewer and fewer in time for Cham. So, like you say, if Cats can just hold on here, he's going to be in excellent shape. And now he's got a very good preset concave on top of this ramp. And no way here for Cham to actually engage up into that without taking significant losses. So Smartly is going to back off, but he's actually put himself behind with all of this, committing so heavily into the roach numbers. And of course, to take into consideration the fact that hatchery was just so late.
Yeah, now Cham starts +1, or rather a while ago, but Cats has it +2 on the way already. So Cats has that +1 missile against just +1 carapace, timing if he wants to. Has a lot of roaches right now. He's kind of catching up, not making any drones though, which is kind of clever still because he can.
Doesn't want to risk it, I guess.
Yeah, and he can also, of course, just go push if he sees Cham trying to get away with like 10 drones or so.
A lot of units in the field for both of our guys. Cats, though, up in supply. Remember that 10 of that is workers, but I mean, better to have those 10 drones than not. And now Cats is going to move out. This +2 is halfway done. Glide reconstitution as well. We'll see. As we can see, like Cat's pulling ahead in that supply, and he's going to continuously keep doing so, just because of that superior economy and have the fact that he had that third hatchery up for lava for much longer.
Cham is in a choke right now.
Oh, this is a very sort of difficult position to fight in. Cat's getting a lot of good surface area, but the concave is favoring Cham. He's going to have better upgrades for a while with 1-1 versus only +1. And he's giving chase. He's going to be able to pick off a couple of these roaches from Cats as they try to retreat.
He still does have more, but Cats will take this engagement, it looks like. And Cham, well, he has way too many roaches, as you say. 1-1 is better than just +1. Lynx coming in here to try to assist Cats. Cats should not be taking this engagement, in my opinion. Should wait for that +2, but he really wants to fight Tenchi.
Yeah, he's dwindling down in roach numbers. We have Cham doubling his opponent right now. Cats just had a big batch finishing up though, but still, Cham has the roach advantage. The numbers are in his favor, and he's going to be pushing up towards this natural. He gets the roach run, and I think that's going to be game if he gets this.
Well, he does get the roach one now. He starts to run off, but Cats needs to remake that right away. Roach one has started, and now Cats needs to hold on. He can't be attacking. He just needs to survive. Cats taking engagement out in open field, not what you want to do, and Cham right now pushing Cats back.
I mean, he's constantly had this roach number advantage, Alex, and he's just going to continue emphasizing this. There's no way really for Cats to actually contest, and now Cham significantly pushing ahead in that supply. And Cats going under 100. I think this is it. I think Cham has done it. I think he's going to be our third place winner.
I think so as well. After 6 gruesome games, GG well played from Cats. Cham takes that 7th game And ladies and gentlemen, we have our third place winner. That's going to be Cham for you from Brawl Esports.
Very well played. That series got way more turns than I thought it was going to be, so nice. Congratulations, which means he will be securing some of that additional money. Anyway, guys, you've been watching the Copa America, and I really hope you've had a good time. We're completely knackered here. I've been casting from Cruxel Studios live in Stockholm, Sweden, and I think Alex has a train to catch in an hour or two.
Yeah, well, I have to get up in 1.5 hours, and I've been up for a good, I think, 18 hours or 20 hours straight now. So
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. I'm gonna have to sleep on the train, hopefully. But yeah, everyone, it's been a great time. Hopefully, you enjoyed these casts for Copa America. Right now, it's 5:30, and I need to go to bed. So thank you everyone who's been watching. I've been Zweg from Team Property. You can find me on Twitter at PropZweg. Of course, my dear co-cast at PropTenshi. And of course, if you want a full discussion, don't forget the hashtag SC2CopaAmerica.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, we've concluded here. Casted, at least I have, from Cruxel Studios, so you guys can make sure and check him out on Twitter as well, at Cruxel. That being said, I think that's going to be all from us here. And from Copa America, we wish you a good night.
Yo, Lucas.